Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Number one sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies and the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that was a huge stop by the defense. We got the ball at midfield. I think we all felt that we were going to go down and get points, hopefully a touchdown and kind of seize control of that game. So, it's unfortunate that it happened at that time, but man, Taysom is such a conscientious guy and he's such a great football player and he does so much for us that, it's at times that's part of the game, and you got to rally, you got to bounce back.
Next question's from Jeff Duncan.
Hey, Drew, why have you all struggled to get the ball down the field? Are defenses just defending you all a certain way and you're taking what they're giving you, basically?
Yeah, we called a couple shot plays today, and unfortunately we just got, again, bad looks. I think I got sacked on one. And then actually, ironically, the second one was the one where I threw it to Alvin Kamara, and he went 52 yards for a touchdown. So I don't care how far I have to throw the ball down the field. My job is to make good decisions. I'm not going to force it. If it's not there, check it down, put it in the hands of our playmakers, and let them do what they do.
Next question's from Luke Johnson.
Hey, Drew, kind of in that same vein, has the coverages you've seen been different since Mike has been out?
Well,
if teams can card you differently
I mean,
than,
for the
than
most-
maybe you had seen previously?
For the most part today, everybody, they just played us real soft. They played us real soft. So we ran the ball well. We checked it down underneath well. I thought we were really efficient and ran the ball well too. I'd say, if we're being sticklers about ourselves, the difference was, I think in the red zone, we had 4 red zone possessions and had 2 touchdowns, 2 field goals. So in a game like this against a really good opponent and a really good offense on the other side of the ball, you just have to take advantage of those opportunities and try to get touchdowns as opposed to field goals.
Next question's from Mike Triplett.
Drew, do you recall a game where you could just put the ball in a player's hands like Alvin and good things were happening repeatedly like that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a special football player. He rattled off that big run early on, and then obviously the the check down that turned into a 52-yard touchdown. It's nice when you got a weapon like that you just get the ball in his hands in space, and he's tough to tackle, and it's kind of a human highlight reel.
That's Drew Brees. What's up, family? Good to see y'all in the chat. Big ups to the Black and Gold family members chiming in the live stream on this edition of the Sports Coma. Big ups to the family members. Much love to you and Yearns on this edition. And we're going to cover some stuff in this episode, family. That was Drew Brees bringing the broadcast in on this episode. The TSC Week 3 Saints Packers reaction recap. Run the damn ball edition. I mean, that's what we talking about, right? Hashtag run the damn ball, man. Who that to the beautiful Black and Gold family members chiming in the live stream. Big ups to all the family members. I'm going to give y'all all shots out once we get through this interview. Up next, we got the head man himself, the head honcho, top cheese himself, Payton chiming in today on his conference call about what's going on here. Let's take a listen.
Sean, how are you doing? Good. How are you guys? Good. Hey, Sean, last 7 quarters or so, the pass rush hasn't gotten much going. What do you think's behind that?
Well, look, this past week, Aaron's a tough sack. I mean, the ball's coming out. I just finished watching, a full blitz cover 0, and he comes off a play action, retreats, and throws a touchdown pass off of a naked fake. But obviously, the coverage and the rush go hand in hand, and becomes tougher if we're not getting the rush. That's something that we feel is obviously essential for us defensively. So we'll continue to work on it. But we had a few pressures, we had a few hurries, not enough though, especially in the second half.
Hey, Sean,
that rotation a little different every week with the front there. Are you finding a rotation that y'all kind of like and settling into, or still working on it?
Well, look, the one thing I would say we do, and Dennis and Ryan, those guys on defense do a good job with, is all those defensive linemen are playing. If they're active for the game, they're getting in. Usually we're going into a game with 8. And all of those guys are getting, valuable snaps. Hopefully we have Davenport back this week. We think that he can provide some added rush. But they're all going to play. And the key is being on schedule and taking advantage of the long yardage situations. That's the thing I think frustrating from last night was, we get them into some long yardage situations, they convert or come up with a big touchdown pass. Those are things that we need to be obviously a lot more efficient at, especially in the third and longer yardage.
Sean, what are you seeing secondary-wise? I think you mentioned previously eye discipline was something that you wanted to see improvement on, but are you seeing something specific there?
No, look, first off, Malcolm Jenkins played extremely well last night. I think both corners had their moments, and yet, we can be better. So it gets back to a little bit what we were just discussing about relative to the clock and the quarterback's head and the timing as it pertains to coverage down the field.
Hey, Sean, when it comes to like pre-snap penalties, is there any kind of correlation between that and just not having the normal crowd noise, you feel like?
Well, look, this goes both ways. So one of the advantages of playing at home generally is you're dealing with the silent snap count, and that's a tick in the defense's favor, because what that means is basically the offensive line and the defensive line are on equal terms. When you're playing at home on offense, you're using your audio snap count, and you got a little bit of an advantage there. So currently we're in an environment where both teams are on offense are playing kind of like with a home crowd, if you will. No one's using or having to use a silent snap count. We knew Aaron was real good, extremely good, with a hard count, and that bit us last night a couple times.
Sean, did you see better offensive execution in this one? Seems like the yards went up, obviously, the points. Did you see more efficiency there?
Yeah, there's some encouraging things. There's still some details that we need to work out, but I think Kamara was outstanding in space. I mean, the play he made on the long touchdown pass was remarkable. I mean, it was a great effort by him and a great effort by a few guys going downfield. McCoy, I think Josh Hill, they get involved in the play later on. There's still some things, though, some small things that we got to continue to work out to be as efficient as we hope to be, and I know collectively we feel that way.
Drive when you guys got the ball with, I think it's 8:47 in the fourth, and it wound up being a 3-and-out. It was two checkdowns to Kamara and a short to Deante Harris. When you look at that drive, was that too unaggressive, or is that all you were getting at that point?
Yeah, part of it was all we were getting, and still there's 2 or 3 drives in there offensively that are frustrating. We mentioned last night, of course, the turnover on downs by our defense on 4th down, and then the fumble, and then the drive you're referencing was another one.
Sean, you talk about attention to detail, and I know that's something that you've prided your teams on over the years. Is that players? Is it coaching methods? Or is it all of the above? What's the answer there?
It's a great question, and I think we have to, as teachers, start with us relative to how much, and then here's what can happen. You have an injury. You have a replacement take place. How many reps has he had at it relative to the game plan? And, so those specifics, now there were more of them last week than there were this week. And yet, there's some younger players playing. We've got to bring them up to speed. And then let's make sure we're doing the things that we feel like they can do extremely well.
Sean, with Alvin, is there a singular thing that stands out with him on whether it's balance or speed, or is it just the whole totality of him that makes him what he is?
I think the one trait that, until you see him on the field, the one trait is his physical balance. He's got a skill set that can come off contact and stay very upright, and that becomes challenging to tackle. So there's a size or a strength element that's maybe undervalued with him.
After getting kind of an extended look at Ruiz last night, how did you think he played, Sean?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
You guys got kind of like an extended look at Cesar Ruiz last night. Just curious how you thought he played.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, there's some things that we'll want to clean up. There's one specific run play. There's a few things, but I was encouraged, and look, we'll continue to get him work.
Sean, have you all had some opportunities downfield that maybe, for whatever reason, Drew has not either seen or maybe even not had time to find? Are there some yards you maybe left on the field that you'd like to have back?
I think last week there were 2 plays specifically where, had we had the protection clean like we wanted. He's going to make he's got two real good opportunities, but he's hurried. He's got to get off his spot. And then shoot, this week in practice, I thought we threw the ball. He threw the ball down the field as well as I've ever seen him. We got a lot more coverage last night. They're playing a real good complementary game right now. When I say that is that a little bit of rope-a-dope on defense where they're going to keep the ball in front of them. We're going to have to be patient and execute sometimes the underneath passing game, but a little bit more split safety, a little bit more shell last night, which makes it a little bit harder then to get those shots down the field. I mean, the touchdown pass, it was in the red area, but the Dino post that he throws to Emmanuel was outstanding. That was right at the end of the half. But I think those big play opportunities each week we're looking for, we have up in the script. But I wouldn't say coming off of the game last night there were those. I think last night we got a little bit more of a softer zone coverage, which forced him to go appropriately to the underneath throws.
Sean, what's your...
All right, we're going to stop him right there, family. That's Coach Sean Payton. That goes on for at least another 8 minutes or so. He said he watched the film. You know, he said he was able to observe it. And who that to the beautiful black and gold family members chiming in this installment of the Sports Coma. Like it aptly named Saints and Packers, Week 3 Saints Packers recap, reaction recap, run the damn ball edition, which is not what I heard coming out of his mouth. You had an opportunity to survey the film, as they say, and listen. What was the answer? You know, you are the problem, Payton. You are the problem. And people keep talking about Drew and looking down the field, and the reporters, it's just amazingly, it's stupid, man. It's amazing. It's just amazingly stupid questions by the reporters who are keeping this facade going on. This is ridiculous. Sean Payton is clearly the person that's responsible for the team losing. It's not Drew Brees. You heard what Drew said. They're playing us soft, which means they're playing back, keeping everything out front. Why would you do that? Because they're more afraid of you throwing the ball down the field than they are about you running the football. So somebody that has some sense would then run the ball to force them to come down so you can throw the ball over the top. See, and how stupid are some of these reporters that's asking these questions? And the man telling you can watch film to get out and listen. You can watch the tape and the film and it shows you everything. They're playing off the Saints and keeping everything underneath to minimize that passing attack. So when you saying Drew needs to throw the ball downfield, what you want him to throw interceptions? The only way to clear up out of the deep field space so he can throw the ball is to run the ball to force the safeties and linebackers to come closer to the line of scrimmage. There is no need for them to fear your running game, and that's what I was saying. They know who you are. They know that you're a team that's a throw-first team, and you would chop off your damn foot first before you run the ball. It's what it is. You averaged 6.1 yards a carry in yesterday's game against the Packers, who are a suspect team. They are a suspect team. But you will do everything you can to force feed the pass as opposed to simply run the ball. Run the ball is the key. What's the problem with the Saints? They refuse to run the ball. Payton refuses to run the ball. And if he does run the ball, it'll be out of a passing style scenario. So he won't put the 3 tight end set on the field. The fullback, which he has, I don't know why he has a fullback. He never wants to use the guy. Why do you have a fullback there? You have to run the ball. It is the issue that the Saints are having. We're losing these games because the defenses are playing off covering up the passing lanes, and the Saints can't force the ball down the field. You have to run the ball, and teams aren't stopping the Saints from running the ball. They average 6.1 yards against the Packers. Usually when you do that, you win. You win if you stick to it, like Belichick did against the Raiders the other day when he ran the ball on the Raiders defense and beat them by double digits. That was supposed to be the outcome for the Saints. He will chop off his foot before he run the damn ball, and that's why I continue to listen to his verbiage and his words. He's not getting it. He knows what he's doing, though. He's cognizant of what he's doing because there have several other old school coaches told him the Saints need to run the ball. And I'm pretty sure you don't think the big tuna done had a conversation with Payton and told him what time it is? I guarantee you the tuna done told Payton what to do. He won't listen. And when you got a guy hell bent on doing it his way, and if it don't work, you're gonna have to he gonna deal with them consequences. He gonna take this work and every bit of it. But big ups to the family members chiming in the live stream. Welcome to the Great Saint Think Tank, also known as the Sports Coma, or as I like to say, welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Of course, I'm Big Q, and we covering this, man. And like I said, family, it's amazing, man, to be honest with you, about what we witnessing out here. I'm going to tell you no different. I'm amazed at it. I'm amazed. But anyway, big ups to the family members chiming in this edition of the Sports Coma, and be ever so mindful that I will open up the lines after we finish going through some stuff, and this will probably be a 3 or 4 hour show right here. And I just want to let the family members know when we open up the phone lines, please be mindful of the people that want to get behind you, because there's a lot of people that want to vent. We couldn't do a full show yesterday because of the time parameters. But I feel free, as you're coming into the chat, please hit the like button. As you're coming into the chat, please hit the like button. As you're coming into the chat, please hit the like button and share the link on your social media. It helps us out a lot. And I thank you beforehand for doing that. Also, I like to give a shout out to all our new people that's in the stream. If you're new to the Sports Coma and aren't a subscriber, hit the subscribe button and join us today. You know, we are passionate and we're diehard Saints. We are here every damn day with the black and gold. Every day, you know, I mean, 24/7, baby, we in the building, you know what I mean? So who that to the black and gold joining us? Tyra, good to see you, baby. Who that to you? Ferg 318, who that? GM Kevin, who that? Torrey Shepard Sr., who that to you? Roy Baker, who that to you? Roy Gundam, who that to you? Gundam. Travis 504, who that to you? Good to see you. Jasper Bowden, who that to you? Who else we got there? Tramal Kellop, who that to you? Tramal, good to see you, brother. Big ups to Devin C. Who that to you? Who else we got there? Let's see who else, if I ain't missing out any. Brian Pearson, who that to you? Brian. Arnold Landry, who that to you? Arnold says, Q, you know you've been preaching about run the ball, but how do you feel about our dink and dunk passing? I don't have a problem with the dink and dunk passing as long as you're progressing methodically up the field. I don't have a problem with dink and dunk, man. A lot of people frowned on dink and dunk, but listen, if it's methodically moving the ball up the field and eating clock like a stiff running game would, I'm fine with that. Just as long as you're progressing up the field, because methodical means you're slicing off layers of the clock, and there's a rhythm going where you're dinking and dunking, you're methodically moving up the field. I don't have an issue with short passes. I really don't. If you do it well enough, they'll come down to have to cover you up, and then you can go up top. So it's ways to shake from this thing. But, well, you know, I have no problem with it. As long as you're moving the ball methodically and progressing and moving the chains, I have no problem with dink and dunk. Trust me, I don't. All right, thank you for that question, bro. Appreciate you. And thank you for being here, Arnold. Thank you. Inevitable says, T. Shep, Payton didn't like to run the ball. I'm sick of this dude already. 36 passes, 20 runs, and they were averaging 6.1. I'm going to go over the statistics, too. We got a few stories I'm going to go over with you. Philip, what up, Philip Celestine? Who that to your family? Big ups to you. Wow, it just jumped on me. So let me see if I can go back to where I was. I'm going to run down here and give a shout out to everybody as well. Philip Celestine, who that to you? Good to see you in the chat. Jermaine Scobie, who that to you? Donovan Grayson, who that to you? Tro Blewett, Who that to you in the building as well. We that, who that nation, who that to your family. Good to see you. Trail Hatch in the building. What up, brother? Jerry's in the building. Who that to Jerry Poor is in the building as well. Jay Benz, who that to you. Good to see you in the chat. Shadrack Mosley in the chat. What up, Shadrack? Who that to your fam? Gigatest is in the chat. Big ups to your family. Good to see you in the chat as well. Kelvin Washington from Phoenix, Arizona. What up, Kel? You in the building as well. Big ups. Let's see who else we got here. Lee Wood from the Philippines. What up, Lee? Good to see you in the chat as well, fam. Welcome. Who else we got running down here? Let's see. Soufiane. What up, Soufiane out Paris? Chiming in from Paris, France. Soufiane's in the building. Good to see you in the chat. Welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. Let's see who else we got there as well. Lori Hackler in the building. What up, Lori? Who that, baby? Jermaine, Jeremiah in the building as well. What up, Jeremiah? How you doing, my brother? Good to see you in the chat. VB Saints lady. What's up, baby? How you doing? Welcome to the chat as well. Good to see you. Thank you for your support. All right, who else we got here? Just always got to shout out the family, man, before we start talking Saints, because without the family, man, it's without y'all, it's nothing. So I take the time to talk to the family members. That's what it's about. Big ups to Sports Talk 365 in the building. What up, fam? Thank you for joining us as well today. Big ups, fam. All right, who else we got here as we go down here? Wayne, who that to you, Wayne? Good to see Wayne in the chat. Big ups to your family. Let's see what we got there. Anybody else that I didn't yell out? Kyle Walter, who that to your family? Good to see you as well. And if I hadn't shouted you out, family, feel free to give me a who that, and I'll give you a who that back in the chat. Nola Bars, who that to you, Nola? Good to see you, fam. He says, I'm sick of Payton. That Super Bowl leverage time is up. Gave him a 10-year cushion. It's a 10-plus year cushion we gave Sean Payton, man. It's time. That's a decade cushion you gave him now. Just remember that. When people get upset, just remember it's a 10-plus year cushion since the last Super Bowl you had. I'm just telling you. And then your quarterback, you done wrestled away all of his best years, and he's sitting here and people saying he got a squiggly arm, and I'm disagreeing with him. And I'm saying this is not on Drew Brees. This is Sean Payton's era. He don't want to run the ball. And when you don't want to run the ball, your offense is not going to be balanced. I'm just telling you. And you go look at the Raiders and see what the New England Patriots did to the Raiders, and the Patriots ain't better than the Saints. They don't have better personnel than you do. So how could they have done that? Go look at the statistics and see what the running game did. That man was running that ball. He had 40-something plus carries on that team, and they were all stackpiling the run on the Raiders. That man has the discipline to stick to the running game. This buffoon here don't. What can I tell you? How do you study film and look? And this is what I'm talking. This is pure egoism going on here. This is pure egoism going on here because there is no guesswork to it. It's no guesswork. What's one of my favorite sayings, family, besides don't burn the beans, which you got a shirt in the pro shop. Check the links in the description section and get you one. Don't burn the beans. And one of my other favorite one is we're not building no spaceships over here. We're not building spaceships. Say, Q, what the hell does that mean? I heard you say that before. We're not building spaceships means it's not astrophysics. It's not quantum physics. It's football. It's simplistic. You can study the film and find out everything the Saints are doing wrong. It's right before you. You can look at the numbers. The numbers will also let you know every error. So there's no guesswork to this. And people ask the question, well, why are all the Saints looking like what they're? Because you have a stubborn head coach who knows that the opposition knows that he likes to throw, and he refuses to adjust the mindset of the offense toward a run-based attack for a short period of time just to spark the offense. He refuses to do it. He refuses. There is no logical reason why you should not be switching to the run and powering the ball down the last two teams' throats. There is no reason, logically speaking, in a logical spectrum of thought, why you should not be running the ball. Drew Brees told you on the interview that I played just a few minutes ago that they're playing them soft, which means they're playing off, meaning they're backing up and preparing for the deep pass. If you know that is the case, then you must run. That is the answer. That is the answer. The solution to the problem is a potent, strong, and stubborn running attack, not forcing the ball into coverage. There is no logical reason why running shouldn't be the issue right now. If you start running the ball, you win those games. You won that game against the Raiders. You win that game against the Packers. They could not stop you from running the ball. The Saints went away from the run to throw because he's trying to out-throw the other team and beat those teams his own way. So he's trying to circumvent football knowledge to do that. Problem is he's stackpiling winning. He's stackpiling losses being stubborn. There is no reason why. And he said he looked at the film and he ain't come away from there at all saying, you know what, man, we got to run the ball, man. We got to run. You didn't hear that from him at all, which tells me that he consciously knows what he's doing. So this is not something where he don't know, Q. He's just ignorant of it. That's not true. The tape, if he's a professional coach, he can look at the tape and they can see that he's supposed to be running the ball. When you have those silly ass plays, when you put a cold flounder Taysom Hill in for Drew Brees, who was playing well at that point, he comes in, fumbles the ball. You know why he fumbled the ball? Because he was supposed to throw the ball on that play. That's why Zadarius Smith shot around the end and knocked the ball out of his hands. You know why? Because he wasn't supposed to be running. He was supposed to throw the ball. They had two wide receivers split out to his left. One of them bypassed Zadarius Smith. Didn't even block him. Look at the film. And he was supposed to throw it. He pushed it down and tried to run with it. And that's why I'm telling you that this guy is not ready to be a quarterback yet. If he was a quarterback, he would have stood back and threw that ball on out there because he had two guys that were split out left that was open for that pass. But what the hell did he do? Pulled it down and tried to run and ended up getting a turnover that they never could recover from. Now, the issue is we understand that people make mistakes on the field, but the coach has to put his players in position to win games. And that means you had Latavius Murray back there. Simply give him the ball. He's averaging 4.8 yards per carry during the Green Bay Packers game. The team as a unit is averaging 6.1 yards per carry per game. 2 rushes, first down. 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 Say it with me. 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes, first down. Say it with me. This is the new song. Sing it with me. Come on, everybody. In the chat, everybody. Everybody sing it with me. 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. I mean, come on. How else can I teach you to do what you're supposed to do? 6.1 means 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes. Y'all hear 2 rushes. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. I'm alley-ooping it to you. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. I'm telling you, that's the song. 2 rushes, first down. Come on, man. Come on, sing it with me, y'all. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. Demi said first down. Devin said first down. Oh man, but that's what I'm talking about. I'm lighting it up for the family, man, because the reality is 6.1 yards per carry equals first down. 2 rushes. It sounds like a 2 Live Crew song. What's the guys from Atlanta? Let me see Tootsie Roll. The Tootsie Roll people, Tootsie Roll. Remember that? The Tootsie Roll people? I forgot what the name of the group was, but that sounds like a song that they would do. We got to pull them up out the retirement and let them do 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes. That's what we need to do. Oh, what can I tell you, man? Now listen, my beautiful Saints family members. The bottom line is this. I make light of it because 6.1 means 2 rushes, first down. Don't get me started on that song. Too catchy. That song is catchy as hell. Tyra said, first down. 95 South. There you go, Revolt. You wouldn't know that, Revolt, being that you out there, man. 60, what's this? The 6'9" boys. I don't know if that's them. Revolt got it right. He got 95 South. That's who it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Thank you, bro. Well, a lot of people saying the Yin Yang twin. they could do it too. They could do it too. Any one of them type of groups out there. Look at Bear said, first, 2 rushes, first down. And listen, man, I make light of it because you're supposed to. We done got to joke. We're epic level joke running now. And listen, seriously speaking, if you're the coach of the team, you're watching that they cannot stop your team from advancing the ball. You're averaging 6 rushes, 6.1 yards per rush attempt. Elvin Kamara had over 10 yards rushing per attempt yesterday. So you had one running back averaging 10 yards a rush and one averaging 5 yards a rush. It's insane. It's insane. But, you know, without me breaking and busting into my song, 2 rushes, first down, we're going to get into the show. So I'd like to thank all the Black and Gold family members for chiming in this edition of the Sports Coma. 2 rushes, first down. 2 rushes. 2 rushes. We need a little move or something. I don't know. We got to come up with something. Hey, Q, what? 2 rushes? 2 rushes? Oh, man, we have too much fun, man. We have too much fun. That's the move. 2 rushes. Oh, man, come on, man. You got to have fun with it. But anyway, family, today, man, I invite y'all to hit the like button, man. Big ups to you. Big ups to you, Sad Scott Trail. I see you, fam. Hopeful of elect. Good to see you, Space Ghost. I see you, Space Ghost. Who that to your family as well. DJ, big ups to you as well, family. Big ups to the family members joining the live stream. Much love to you and Yearns as we get underway in this episode of The Coma. Now, we played 2 interviews early on. We had Drew Brees chimed in, and then we had a teleconference today from offensive coordinator Sean Payton. And pretty much, you know, he was basically talking about nothing and doing a lot of excuse making and stuff that I didn't want to hear. I didn't want to hear that. You're not telling the real truth, and the reporters are most certainly not asking the correct questions. The Who Dat Nation is a lot smarter than these reporters, obviously. They know what time it is, and they know what's wrong with this team. Now, I did have Cam Jordan tuned up that I wanted to play, but we're going to skip that. We're going to move into some of the news. So momentarily, I'll share my screen with the family members. So please feel free to hit the like button, subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, and we're going to cover some news right about now. All right, now the first one here is up away here. We got this story here that's tuned up for you. And it said the Saints fumbled away momentum late in the curious call versus the Packers. And let's hit it. After what looked like a game-turning 4th down stop in the 4th quarter, New Orleans fumbled away a chance to pull ahead of the Packers. The momentum squandering play led to a rare Sunday night loss and mistake-prone Saints' first 2 game losing streak in 3 years. New Orleans has been 9-0 on Sunday nights under Drew Brees and Payton, but Payton's curious decision to replace Brees for 1 down backfired into a fumble that ultimately cost the game. I often said that he shouldn't have been out there. He shouldn't have been out there. With the score tied at 27, Payton sitting heel in to run an option on the 2nd and 3rd from the Packers. He lost the ball on the hit from Zadarius Smith. No, what happened was he was supposed to drop back and throw the ball. 2 wide receivers was open to his left. That Zadarius Smith shot around the edge. What happened was he decided to pull the ball down. There was nowhere for him to go. If you go back and study the play like I did, Taysom Hill had absolutely nowhere to go. The safeties dropped down in the box. So was the linebackers. That's why Zadarius Smith was where he was. He simply shot around the end and was able to get a clear poke away of Taysom, because instead of being a quarterback that a lot of people think he is, no, he turned into the running back. That's why I keep telling y'all that guy ain't ready to be no quarterback. Because when you get an opportunity to throw the ball, you're going to throw it. Every chance he gets, he pulls the ball down and want to take off like a running back. What are you looking at? You should have known to get rid of the ball, especially to the left, and then you turn the ball over. That killed the drive. The Saints were marching to score. It's just absolutely insane. But that's what happened. He says Z is consistent, one of our best defensive players. Zadarius Smith seen the play, poked it out. That helped the advantage. Packers took advantage of the only turnover by either team, going 30 and 27 on a 49-yard field goal. They padded the advantage with third down pass, a 1- yard to the tight end, Tunyon, with 2 minutes left, and the Saints could not stop the tight ends. They said, we just stopped them on the 4th down play. We got the ball in real good position with a chance to make something of it. Unfortunately, we didn't do it. And unfortunately, it seems to be the mantra for this team over the last 2 weeks, that they unfortunately continue to mess up and squander opportunities. And it's strictly because of not being prepared and not leaning on the strengths of the team, which is the running game, when the offense is struggling. Breeze had guided the Saints to scores on the 4 previous possessions, including a spectacular 52-yard play to Alvin Kamara, who broke 4 tackles to get down there. Payton then successfully challenged a spot after Green Bay, which you seen that ridiculous call, but they reversed it when they gave him a whole yard. But he challenged it. He did that. The challenge gave the Saints the ball at Green Bay's 48 with a replay ruled. Matt Lattimore did a great job on that play. Breeze had a 7-yard pass to Latavius on the next play, giving the Saints QB 15 completions and 18 attempts. So as you know, this is documenting that the fact that Drew was hot. He was hot. He was playing well. Then they pulled him out, and you could see at that point Drew had a talking to with Taysom Hill before he left the field. Like, he didn't want to leave the field, and then Taysom went on there and then turned the ball over. Why would you do that is my thing. Why would you, if your quarterback is finally hot, why would you pull a dumbass Elvin Gentry move like that, pull him out of the game and put a cold-ass cucumber quarterback? Try saying that 3 times straight. You had a cold-ass cucumber quarterback that came in the game. Cold-ass cucumber quarterback that came in the game and turned the ball over. He hadn't thrown the damn pass the whole game. It just goes to show you, man, the asinineness of Sean Payton. Look that word up. Anyway, the Saints end up going down. They never quite recovered from the single turnover in the game, and they got up out of there. Really, really suspect. Let's look at some of the statistics here of the game, by the way, before we get into some of the news and notes of the item. As you can see, the team stats pull up. Drew Brees, 29 of 36 for 288, 3 touchdowns. His performance was better than his counterpart. And Aaron Rodgers, Kamara, 6 carries. And this is the thing that I wanted to alert the family members about, which spurred my really catchy song, that I sung early in the show. 2 rushes. This is why this song was inspired by the Saints rushing attack. Alvin Kamara, 6 carries, 58 yards. Yep. He averaged, what is that, family? Look at that number. That's 9.7. You can average that off to 10 yards a carry last night. Latavius Murray, 12 carries. What's that? 4.8. That's 5 yards a carry. So you had one guy averaging 10 yards a carry, the other guy averaging 5 yards a carry. And if you look at the team statistics here, the bottom line is this: 20 carries for 122 yards. And what does that average as a team? 6.1 yards per rush. This is receipts. What part of not being able, if you're rushing and you're getting 2 rushes first down, when you run the ball, how are you losing the game 37-30? Well, that's because you got a coach who, instead of running the ball at the team directly, he wants to throw passes up the line of scrimmage, which I warned you guys about before the game started and several times last week about doing this type of plays against a defense that is fast from sideline to sideline. I said it. I said you do not do passes like that against a team that is fast from sideline to sideline. The Packers are a good, fast team sideline to sideline. Most 3-4 teams are. That's why they're chosen to use the 3-4 formula, because at taking away one lineman and adding a linebacker there makes your defense faster in thought. But the problem with the 3-4 unit is that you have to have a very good nose tackle and defensive ends who can eat up 5 guys. 2 of those guys will have to draw double teams on 2 offensive linemen. So if you got a 3-down look in the front, you got 3. They have their 3 defensive linemen. We have our 5 offensive linemen. Their 3 will have to some kind of way absorb our 5 linemen, which allow their linebackers to roam around unabated, which means none of our offensive linemen puts paws on them or block them, and they can run around and cover or do whatever they need to do. That's the idea of it. But the reality is they didn't have their best interior lineman, Clark, available for this game, which means they were susceptible. And even if he was available, he was injured. He would not have been 100%, which explains why you were able to average as much as you did rushing the ball. The cold part about it is the Saints went away from the strategy to throw the ball, and that's strictly on the coach. You got to blame. Why would you abandon a running attack and run the ball 20 times versus throwing the ball? You have 36 attempts versus 20 attempts. 36 passing attempts, right, versus 20 rushing attempts. 36 versus 20. That should have been the opposite. If you invert that number, you beat the Packers by double digits last night, because they could not stop you. Look at the statistics. Even if you just look, don't be fooled by the Alvin Kamara play, but look at Latavius Murray's rushing stats. 12 carries, he was averaging 5 yards a carry. If you'd given him the ball more, 15 to 20 times more, he could have got you 100 yards according to his statistics, or got you close. And a touchdown, because they could not stop him. When he was running, he was getting to the second level, and they took 2 or 3 of them to tackle him. Alvin Kamara, 13 catches, 139 yards because the check down. Emmanuel Sanders, 4 catches, 56 yards. Finally got one on a really nice throw by Drew. Starting to see his accuracy come online. Traquan Smith, 4 catches off of 6 targets, 42 yards. The 10-man, 3 targets, 2 catches, 21 yards. He left the game. Troutman, 2 catches, 17 yards off of 2 targets. Everybody else in single digits. Top defensive man, Malcolm Jenkins, 9 tackles. Demario Davis had a sack. The lone sack of the game, C.D. Deuce, the artist formerly known as Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, 7 total tackles. Marshawn had 6. Jack Rabbit had 6. Cameron had 4 tackles on the game. Alex Anzalone, 3. 2 for Hardy, 2 for PJ, 2 for Marcus, 2 for Brown, and everybody else had 1. Just showing you the statistics of the matchup. The team statistics, before we move on to the next item, as you can see, Sean Payton said last night they couldn't keep up with the Green Bay Packers. I broke that down and smashed that to 1,000 goddamn pieces because it was bull. It wasn't the fact that the Saints couldn't keep up with them. The Saints outpassed the Packers. They outrushed the Packers. The Packers had 3 more first downs, 24-21, but they were equal at passing first downs, 14-14. Rushing first downs, they had 1 better than you. They were able to get 2 more penalties to 4 first downs than you were. But you were the same on 3rd down, 5 of 11. They were 1 of 2 on 4th. You were 1 on 1. Total plays, the Saints had 1 less play than the Packers. Total yards, the Saints had almost 30 yards more than the Packers. They had the same allotment of drives, 11-11. Saints had more passing yards per play at 7 per play. More passing yards, 275 versus 271. More rushing yards, 122-68. More, and they're at rushing per attempt 6.1 versus their less than 4. Penalties is a big thing. Once again, heavy penalized game for the Saints. 8 of them for 83 yards, but you still was in position to win the game. Hadn't it been for the fumble, they were marching the score. Time of possession, Saints 28-20 versus 31-40. Just a less than 3 minute difference, which is a lot better. But there wasn't the fact that you could not catch up with them. I mean, how erroneous were you to say such a thing? You sit up there and watch that game, and you're talking about we couldn't catch up with them. You were in place. Had you did the right thing you were supposed to do, simply stick to the run. But we got a guy that likes to do silly shit and outthink himself, and that's going to be problematic for the duration of the season because you're going to lose close games because the people done figured the Saints out. Let's get that clear. We could talk about Drew, and everybody going to blame Drew because that's the simplest shit to do. But it's not Drew Brees' fault these games. You can't blame him this time. He had a 3-touchdown performance and almost hit 300 yards today. He was 29-36, so they can't miss. They can't say, "Oh, it's Drew Brees not pushing." It's not Drew. It's not Drew. It's Payton. Payton is not rushing the ball. Thank you, Tag. Appreciate you for your donation, bro. Thank you. It's not that. It's not that at all. It's not Drew. It's Payton. And people need to start getting that right. It is Payton the reason why the Saints are losing these games. Because for whatever reason in his head, he thinking, listen, I'm going to throw this goddamn thing as opposed to run it. And I just showed you the Saints average last night's game right here. 6.1 yards per rush. So how you still lost with that type of ridiculous amounts of running on the ground? Well, you had a coach that wasn't committed to it. He was doing dumb stuff, throwing it down the line to wide receivers as opposed to powering the ball with the fullback and commonsensical stuff. It's just, man, I can't tell you, but everybody keep telling me a genius. All right, let's keep it going. Let's go to the next article. Saints Andrews Pete sustains a high ankle sprain. He got rolled up. And he was already dealing with a busted finger, a busted thumb. And then, of course, he was getting it handed to him in this game. Andrews Pete was getting it handed to him this game. He gets rolled up. The Saints take him out, and they find out it's a high ankle sprain. So he's expected to miss some time, and they're thinking about place him on the injury reserve, which will free him up. So Pete expected to miss some time. Result, he could be placed on the IR, which will require him to miss at least 2 games since the Saints have a bye week. I think they need to sit him down anyway, man. You know. And, of course, Derek Kelly is the next up to start at left guard if Pete is indeed out. That's not necessarily the truth. I don't know what they're talking about. The next in line, they'll probably put over that side, they'll use Easton. They'll replace Andrews Pete with Nick Easton, and they'll put Cesar Ruiz at the right guard position. You've seen that happen in the game, by the way. All right, let's go to the snap count. What happened in the snap count for the matchup of this one? Wouldn't you like to know? How did the snap count go? Well, let's take a look. All right, here's a look at it. The weekly snap count, wide receivers plus offensive playmakers in the snap count. All right, there were less rotation in the top depth chart for this week. For the second straight week, only 2 receivers were on the field more than 50% of the time. And they had 3 receivers that used 50 or more percent of the time against the Raiders last week. Well, let's take a look. Some of that could do with Alvin Kamara, who had 41 reps, which represents 67% he made. The lion's share of the Saints offense on Sunday with 197 total yards. In the backfield, at 12 plus receptions. Traquan Smith, for the first time in his career, played on every offensive snap. He had a lot of good blocks, but he has to work on freeing himself up. That's what he has to do. He got to keep those wide receivers hands off him them cornerbacks hands off him when he goes into the break. You can't let those guys put their hands on. You got to fight their hands off. You remove their hands violently, like Michael Thomas do, so you can get into your break. That's something he has to learn to do. When I studied the film, I noticed he allowed them to put their hands on him too much. You got to fight their hands off of him. And let's see, his previous high percentage time played last week against the Raiders with 88%. Smith finished with 4 catches on 6 targets, 42 yards. Emmanuel Sanders logged in 48 snaps, standing on the field for 79% of the Saints plays. And then number 3 receiver was Deante Harris. Wasn't used nearly as much last week. He logged in 22 plays for 36% on Sunday rather than 31%. 31 plays for 52% offense against the Raiders. He had 2 catches, 3 targets for 5, an ineffectual 5 yards. He just couldn't get going. If he could have broke maybe a tackle, he had a couple of plays I've seen that if he'd have broke a tackle, he had a couple of big gains. He just couldn't get his legs up, his feet high enough. And on the defense, base snap counts, Caden Ellis, the team's supposed starting strong line, was in the 2 defensive plays Sunday. Starting nickel, C.J. Johnson was on the field all but 2 snaps. Saints spent most of the game with 5 defensive backs on the field. Malcolm Jenkins, Marcus Williams, Marshawn Lattimore all played every snap. Jack Rabbit missed 1 snap. Gardner missed 2. So they were out there too much. Also, based on the snap count, the team played 8 snaps of the dime defense. PJ was on the field for those snaps. Starting middle linebacker Alex Anzalone was on the sideline for 8 snaps when they went to the down. As far as defensive line goes, Cam was used less farther. Even with Marcus Davenport out again, Cam was in just 48 plays. That's 77% of the defensive snaps. On the other side, it was Trey Henderson, who got 41. That's more than normal for him. He was 56 against Tampa, 58 against the Raiders. Carl Granderson and Marcus Hunt were also used last week. Hunt numbers dropped from 48 to 27, where Granderson usage went down from 40 to 29. Offensive line. Ruiz was not technically gotten a start on Sunday. That honor went to Nick Easton. Again, that's another question that nobody's asking Payton. Is you drafted this guy, you got rid of Larry Warford, you made him seem like he was the problem. You draft the center, you don't start him at center. You didn't start him at guard, and then when he finally is healthy, you don't want to play him, you play in the backup. Explain to me why the 24th pick in this draft, the first rounder, is not playing. And Payton said out of his own lying mouth that draft Ruiz to sit on the bench, even though he's sitting on the bench now. But see, when I call him out like that, people are like, well, Q, listen, you know, he said this, man, listen, stop making excuses. Stop being apologists for wrongdoing. Cesar Ruiz was supposed to be the guy to come and occupy the center position. Payton chose to start the guy in camp at guard. Made no sense to me. If he's a center, let him learn the center position. But this the type of back-ass logic that we dealing with. Throw when you can't throw until you can throw. Even though you're mounting up losses, even though you draft Ruiz to be a center, you then move him to guard when you could have drafted a guard if you needed a guard. Makes sense, don't it? Not in Bizarro world. Not in the world of Bizarro land where everything is up, is down, and what is down is up. Everything that is in, that is out, and everything is topsy-turvy in Payton's Bizarro world of his mind. Ruiz was backing up Nick Easton, then was forced into action after Andrews Pete went down after he got rolled up. He finished with 51 snaps, being on the field 84%, but Easton was 40 snaps for 66% had to come back after Pete left the game just because of that injury. Now, Pete was in all 31 snaps, 51 before leaving the game. Easton ended up getting 10 snaps at right guard, 30 snaps at left guard. And then, of course, the rookie watch. Undrafted defensive tackle Malcolm Roach was in 30 defensive plays for 48% on 7 defensive plays. He hadn't played a single special team snap before Sunday, had a season high in both snap counts and snap percentage, and he had 1 assisted tackle in the game, a second quarter takedown of Green Bay running back Aaron Jones. So Roach was stepping up. Y'all tell me if you've seen Shy Tuttle. I did not see Shy Tuttle in this game. Y'all, maybe I missed him. Y'all let me know in the chat if y'all seen Shy Tuttle. All right, on to the next news. How about this nice little interesting news item? Saints took a look at Ken Crawley yesterday. Well, Q, they just looking at him. Well, guess what? Today they signed him. That's right. Ken Crawley is back on the Saints roster. You heard it. And if you don't believe me, here goes his tweet. This is Ken Crawley's Twitter account. And this is what he said. This is what he said. Back where it all started. Back where it all started. And you got this guy here from Germany talking about welcome back. This guy can't be a Saints fan welcoming back Ken Crawley into the fold. Back where it all started. Ken Crawley is back on this damn team. We try to get rid of this dude. Out of all the cornerbacks from Kayvon Webster and Mo Claiborne and even Dietrich Nichols, who was the XFL Bulldog that they released at the 80-man cut, all those guys are out there. And you mean to tell me this the best you can do is bring Ken Crawley, somebody we was trying to get rid of because he is fundamentally flawed as a cornerback? The guy I nicknamed Ken Crawley before you walkie because he wasn't ready to play big man minutes, because he gets terribly cooked and burned, because he simply refuses to turn his head around to locate the ball. This is not insulting terms. This is facts. If you study the footage, these guys refuse to whip their heads around to locate the ball. But guess what? Ken Crawley's back on the practice squad. You tell me if this Super Bowl moves. You need a pass rush because your defensive line is hurting. You still got Malcolm Brown with a foot situation. There's still an issue with Trey Henderson's groin. Granderson was banged up in the matchup last night. and you get into the week and you sign Ken Crawley to the practice squad. You don't go out there and try to find a veteran defensive end to come in and brace the injuries that you're having. You come into the press conference or the teleconference this morning and say we're hoping to get Marcus Davenport back. Davenport's been missing for 3 weeks. He's dealing with obviously a serious elbow issue that would have kept him out the first 2 weeks because, and I mean out in terms of practicing. What kind of elbow you have where you can't practice? An elbow now. And like I preference it against what happened with Tyrod Taylor playing with fractured ribs and the doctor's giving him a shot so he could play with fractured ribs. You mean to tell me that same chemical that you're not shooting up this guy with fractured ribs for, you can't give him a shot in his elbow so he could play? Unless it's a lot more word than that. They're saying it's an elbow, it might be an arm. They lie on the injury report all the time, or they emit information like they did last year when they emitted the information about Cam having a groin injury, and they never released that. You found that out by way of Cam on his social media. The same stuff that happened with several other players, including Mike Thomas when he broke his hand in the Carolina matchup. You didn't hear about it until Mike was clowning somebody on social media and made mention of it. You didn't hear from the team, so I'm documenting. I'm letting you know they real scrupulous with doing stuff like that. And also the caveat of going run out there to try to sign Jadeveon Clowney on the signing trade. You don't do that unless the man is really dealing with an injury, bro. But you don't go nowhere else. You don't go find a defensive end or a linebacker that can come in and keep the pass rush going until these guys heal up. By the way, I said this. You keep counting on guys that are repetitively and consistently hurt, you're asking for trouble. I said it all off season. I said that year after year because these guys are hurt year after year. You need people that can brace these guys up. You need to cut their reps down and you know who you're dealing with. So, I mean, hey, what can I tell you? All I can tell you is Ken Crawley's back. And this is what the practice squad looks like right now in pictures. Ken Crawley's on the practice squad. You got this other kid, Grant Haley or whatever, great value. You got this kid right here who I like a lot, Tony Jones Jr. He's good. Keith Washington really is the guy that we should be seeing out here. Give him an opportunity to play, and get on the field. Let the young man get some turn. I want to see what these young guys look like. But you're bringing this old trash back up in here. Garbage. And then, of course, you got Garrett Griffin on there. You got Joe Bessie on there. You got Andrew Dowell. There is this guy, Willoughby, who when they couldn't get DeMar, or whatever his name is, Clowney, they went and signed this guy, Willoughby, off the practice squad from the Baltimore Ravens. Then as Cam Tom, for those asking about Cam Tom, he's on the practice squad. Then you got Kelvin Throckmorton, in defensive end, Anthony Zettel, who they picked up. You got these guys. Who are these guys? Of course, Austin Carr is there. Jawan Johnson, the big receiver, LaJardan Humphrey, and then Tommy Stevens, the tight end. So you mean to tell me you couldn't go out and get Ken Crawley? You couldn't find a defensive end to come in and help you do some stuff? And you hurting that defensive end? Are these Super Bowl moves our elements? That's all I'm saying. Are these Super Bowl moves? You literally bring Ken Crawley back. Just go. You bring Ken Crawley back to this team, man. For what? You got to keep Washington there. But I thought you wanted to get a good look at these young guys. That Nigel Bradham thing really stings right now, don't it? Don't it? How about that Everson Griffin thing? It don't feel too good, huh? It don't. It doesn't. Well, man, we on point with us, man. And might I add, like I said before, we called this. Just to let you know. And y'all sitting here, y'all heard me say it, and it's documented that I called it. So if stuff is happening, it's because of the coach. Not knowing his personnel, not understanding his team, not knowing what he's supposed to do, and more importantly, not having the discipline to stick to what would work better. He's trying. That is a big thing. And that only comes in a situation where you got a guy where you can't tell him nothing. There is nobody challenging his play calling inside of the building. And he's free to do whatever he wants to do, whether it works or not. and nobody calls them out on it, except for you and me. But everybody's saying he a genius. Guess what? A genius will recognize that the literal meaning of insanity is doing the same shit over and over again, and you know it ain't gonna, looking for a different result. That guy ain't no genius, man. I've been telling y'all that. That guy is not a genius. Cut it out. If he was a genius, you know who's a genius? Belichick. Belichick has the discipline to make the adjustments and stick to them. You tell me this guy will cut off his own foot than to run the ball consistently. All right, family. Okay, did we get into the portion of the show? It's almost 7:30 Eastern time. The live lines are open. We're going to be with you for the summation to about 9:30. So if you want to get in line, I've got the lines open. 504-475-4482. We covered the news and notes of the day. Now we're opening up the phone lines for the family members to chime in. 504-475-4482. Live lines open is your opportunity to vent about what you think should happen, your feelings about the game. Feel free to call up the Sports Coma, the Gray Saint Think Tank, 504-475-4482. And remember, it's cheaper to talk to me than to talk to your psycho, yes, your doctor. And you don't need no insurance card. All right, 504-475-4482. Live line is open. Until we get a call, I'm going to be in the chat, giving a few shout outs and asking any questions, concerns, and comments in the chat. Once again, appreciate the super chat there. Tack Robinson, who that to you, brother? Thank you for that. All right, let's hit the chat up here. All right, Gajil, what up, Gajil? Good to see you in the chat. It says crab legs, and this will be our next QB. K-Dot, what up, K-Dot? Good to see you in there. K-Dot Savage Game, it says Saints Logic. 2nd and 6, let's throw a screen behind the line of scrimmage while the defense is coming up. Result 3rd and 12 now. Shaking my head. Isn't that stupid? But they telling me, Q, he a genius. He a genius. You know what really genius is? Show me you a genius if you can stick to discipline. And I was talking to a friend of mine. And I was saying, man, it's easy to do wrong, man. Most of the people out here doing it. So the polarity is going in that direction. So it's no big deal. But I said, you know what's tough? Doing the right thing. I said, because it's tough to do the right thing, and there's a reason to it. You got to have courage. You have to have strength. You have to have a moral background, a moral backbone, and you have to have a good moral code to do the right thing when most people aren't. You know, if you're in a situation or you're in a relationship, you stand real to the person you with. You honoring your spouse. You doing what you're supposed to do. That's tough. Why? Because it takes real courage to do that. It takes strength to do that. And that comes from deep down. And really, doing the right thing is something that we preach all the time. But it takes a certain mindset and a certain discipline to do it day after day. That's what it comes down to. Throwing the ball, like what K-Dot said, throwing the ball 3rd and 12, they creeping up. You throw the ball to the running back and you have 2 wide receivers blocking them or a tight end, and they just bulldoze that shit. Pushed Adam Troutman over, bent him over like he was a folding chair to get to Kamara, whoever that was he was throwing to over there. And I said, look at this dumb you know what. Look at this stupidness. You have Latavius Murray, 6'3", 230 pounds, who averaging 5 yards a game. Why are you throwing the ball down the line of scrimmage? Explain that to me. And let me ask you another thing. What would Bill Belichick do? Would Bill Belichick even do some dumb shit like that? Of course he wouldn't, because that's stupid. But you got an egomaniac moron who think he can get away with anything. There is no Listen, there is no ramification. There is no anything. If he does the wrong thing, there is nobody pointing the finger in his face and said, you the reason why we losing. And nobody hits Sean Payton out here more than I do. Nobody do. I attack Payton when he do the wrong stuff. Y'all know it and I don't do it. And I know it. I don't care who you are. If you doing it wrong, I'm going to tell you to your face. I'm going to point you out and I'm going to go after you. I don't care who you is. You could be the Saints coach or you could be one of these stupid commentator people on the national networks. That's the reality. You're doing it wrong. You're not honoring football principles, and that's why you're losing. It's not hard to tell why the Saints are losing. The Saints are losing because they're doing the wrong stuff. You're supposed to be running the ball and you're supposed to be taking that physicality to the Green Bay Packers and the Raiders, who both are suspect against the run. It's insanity, is what it is. All right, family. Thanks for calling the Sports Coma. Who's on the line?
Hey, it's Gigatest Q.
Okay, one more time, my baby. Say it again.
Gigatest.
Gigatest. How you doing today?
I'm fine. You?
I'm hot. I'm upset, Gigatest. I ain't gonna tell you no lie, my friend. I am definitely upset with what the team is going on. But besides that, I'm actually happy. You figure that, right?
Yeah, well, I think you're just like the rest of the whole Who Dat Nation. We're all disappointed.
Right. Well, tell
Payton
me about it. What you think about?
Yeah, Sean Payton done lost his mind. I don't know if it was back when he was banned from coaching or what, but he has lost his mind.
Right. I mean, how do you explain? What do you think about the play calling? I mean, the issue with when Drew was actually catching a rhythm, he pulls him out. He put Taysom in. Taysom was supposed to throw that play. He pulls the ball down to try to run, and there was everybody. I mean, there was the if you watch the play, the safety seen him and they came to the box. They're not afraid of him throwing the ball, which would have been a good move. But he decides to try to run up against that stacked box. And, of course, something bad happened. What do you think about that play?
I think a lot about the play calling and that play. The play calling is stale. It's old. It needs a whole refresh.
Right. Yeah. It's
and
yeah.
That play was ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Sean.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he turns it around though? Because I was listening to the interview, Gigatest, and I was trying to figure out, hear the words. You know how when somebody do something and you're trying to figure out if they figured it out based on what they're saying. I didn't hear anything saying okay, we're gonna run the ball. We're gonna do this. But he made a comment about we're gonna have to find a way to get this done. No, what you mean find a way? You're the coach. Not only are you the coach, you're the offensive coordinator. So you mean to tell me you can't make it happen? What you call and what you think about that?
Absolutely, he can make it happen. I just don't understand his problem with committing to the run. We've been saying this for years. Look at Mark Ingram. He got smart. He left, and look how the Ravens are doing now.
Isn't that crazy? They're doing terrific. They're using it to his strengths. Sean, and the accountability aspect of it, Gigatest, because you on top of it. The accountability angle since Benson left. Sean Payton is taking on a whole nother personality. What you think about that?
Yeah, you mentioned it. He doesn't have to be held accountable to anyone. And I think people need to start talking to Loomis, for Christ's sakes. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's sad, man. I'm not happy about these last two losses. I'm not, because we had these games. Both of these were in our hand, in our possession, and ultimately we found some kind of weird way to lose. This wasn't the trend before Gigatest. We weren't fumbling and stumbling away victories toward the back end of the game or giving up games. When did this occur? When did we develop this weird new trend that we're under now? When did this occur?
They didn't plan for Michael Thomas ever being out. Mike is so strong and he battles through all of these injuries. You never hear anything about him whining or complaining on the sideline. So they just don't have an answer. And that's very disappointing. Yeah,
you're absolutely 1,000% right. It's disappointment. With going ahead, we got Detroit next. Let me just gauge. I know it's a little early, but this might not be a fair question to ask, being that we kind of still upset. But if spanning ahead, if you will, do you think the Saints rebound against Detroit to get the win? What do you think, Gigatest? You think we get that win?
Lord, I hope so. I really don't know. I'm not much of a prognosticator. That's your job.
Mm-hmm. I still like to hear from you. Because I'm asking you because I don't know. I'm gonna tell you, Gigatest. I'm gonna tell you, baby. I don't know because listen, if they put on a performance like they did against the Raiders and against the Packers, you can't beat too many teams like that. I'm sorry, you can't.
No, you cannot.
So I mean that's you go ahead. I'm sorry.
If things do not change drastically between today and our next game, no, we will not win.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like the trend that we undergoing right now. I think we need to stick to the run, and we need to do that. Drew Brees, they can't really stick it on Drew's back right now. Everybody wants to go to Jameis Winston, and I'm telling people, listen, it's not Drew's situation. It's not the fact that he can't throw the ball down the field. He basically told people today, listen, he says in the game now against the Raiders, he had a few spots he wanted to take, but still in all, they're still working their way through. But this is the time when you're supposed to bring the running attack. The running attack helps the passing lanes open up because the safeties, the linebackers have to come up to play the run, and that gives you opportunities to throw the ball downfield. But right now, currently, the defensive personnel of the opposition is playing off into the passing lanes, and they're using minimal staff to maintain up front. They know Drew Brees is not a hazard to run the ball. He's not a dual threat guy. He's pretty much going to stay in the pocket. So they don't need to commit a extra spy defensive guy to him to take away from the defense. So they can plan and lead Drew up there, and Drew can scramble down there every drive if he wants and gets 4 or 5 yards every time if he wants. But they know that he's not going to move. We know that he's not going to move. So he stays and he dinks and he donks, and I ain't nothing wrong with short passes. But what will really help the rejuvenation of the offensive passing game is if the Saints would incorporate the run to the point where they force the defenses to adjust to it. Then you can throw the ball. I don't understand why Payton is not doing that. It's just absolutely mind-boggling in my mind, Gigatest.
Yeah, you've made a lot of really good points. A lot of people want to drop this on Drew. And look, I'll admit when Drew is not perfect. He hasn't been perfect. Right. However, they want him to be something that he has never been and something that we have never planned around, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So dropping it on Drew gets all the blame because he's the face of the team, but it's Sean's play calling that is the biggest problem.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. You are 100% right, Gigatest. And you know what? I'm glad. This is your first time calling. I'm really happy to hear from you, and I want you to call more. You hear me?
All right. And look, just call me Tess.
Tess. Okay, Tess, you got it. Tess, that's wonderful commentary.
I've been on long enough, and I appreciate the opportunity. And keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Tess. Appreciate you. And who that?
Who that?
All right, Tess. Good to hear from Tess, man. Big ups to you. Appreciate you calling. All right, family, thanks for calling the Sports Coma. Who's on the line?
This Revolt, man.
Revolt, what's up, fam? Revolt, hold on, bro. You sound way down in the dumps, bro. That was a really low volume. This is Revolt right here, man. You know, that's like, I could tell, bro, right now, the Atlanta, it sounds like the Atlanta people trying to give you some issues. I hope that's not the issue. They still stay. They 0-3, so they can't hassle us now. And I hope that ain't it, is it, brother?
No, you know what it was, man?
What's that, bro?
When I saw that we signed Ken Crawley to the practice squad, my day went. It was downhill from there, man. It was downhill from there, man. I said, Lord have mercy. No, they're going to lose Sunday and sign Ken Crawley on Monday. What else is going on? We lost today. We lost today and we lost yesterday.
Oh, man. That's terrible,
that
bro.
That is definitely a loss.
That's terrible, bro.
Q, when I called in the virtual, I told you, remember I said, we cannot run that Taysom Hill quarterback, keep play, whatever student body right, student body left. I don't know what they call it, but that's what they used to call it back in the day.
Right.
So we can't do it. He did it, man. He did it. I know he's supposed to throw it or whatever, but Taysom kept it. But that everybody know when Taysom come in the game, the defense focuses on him. That's what they do. They need to start using him as a decoy now, but or sit him down the field. But all that behind the line of scrimmage stuff, it never works anymore. It never works, and he still do it. 3rd and 3, he throws a wide receiver screen to Taysom Hill. 3rd and 3, and that drive, Murray and Kamara was killing them. And 3rd and 3, the dude throws a wide receiver screen. I said, man, we in trouble. We can't fire the guy. You can't fire him. Like when who was that? Was it the Giants coach that took play calling duties away from him? What was that guy's name? That coach name that took Payton was his OC, and he took the play calling away from him.
Oh,
when he's with the Giants. Well, you know what I'm talking. You know the situation I'm talking.
Right.
But we can't do that. So I mean, we stuck with it, man. We stuck with it. I mean, what can we do? What can we do? Shit. I mean, everything that I talked about in that virtual, man, happened. Remember I was talking about Marshawn Lattimore? Remember I talked about him?
Yep.
Giving up big plays?
Yep.
It happened. It happened.
Yeah, I think you need to buy a lottery ticket, that Revolt, bro. You hit on a lot of stuff that on the virtual tailgate, bro. You hit on a lot of stuff. You talked about the screen thing. The Saints don't need to be running the screen and going sideline to sideline. They did that. They don't need to throw the ball doing the extended run plays, they call it, as they throw the ball down the line of scrimmage. They did that. Right. That messed up for him. Kamara luckily got one. That was old Kamara on one of those plays where he was able to. That was all him on that one. And then in everything pretty much else that you were saying, the Saints turned around and did it in that matchup. So you're 100% right.
Man, I don't know. I guess I felt it, man. I felt it. But that Payton gotta start benching some of these dudes, man.
Who we gonna bench, bro?
Marcus Williams. Marcus Williams, man. The dude, I mean, it looks like he don't even. He just dumb, bro. He's dumb. And after he mess up, he be having a dumb look on his face. It be like, he looked dumbfounded. Like, did I do that? I mean, I ain't trying to do it.
Yeah, he got that Urkel. Yeah, he got that Urkel. Yeah.
He just be having a stupid look on his face, man.
He be busting that Urkel. Did I do that? I'm gonna look up that sound effect and start playing it when I'm talking about him, bro.
Man, put my boy in there, man, from South Carolina, man. Swearingen. Put Swearingen in there, man. We need some good vets, 2 vets back there with Jenkins and Swearingen, man. It's stupid. All he had to do was look up. If he would have looked up, he would have saw that ball was going to go over that guy's head, and he didn't have to hold it. But they refuse to look for the damn ball. I don't understand it. Look for the ball. Just look. Take a glimpse. Just peek at the damn ball for 1 second. But they never. I mean, the dude just ran at the guy and just started grabbing for him. I'm like,
I mean, he hit him and he left him alone. The ball would have been. I mean, man, come on,
he wouldn't have caught it. He wouldn't have caught it. And man, Lattimore, man, I don't know what they can do to get to that guy, but I'm tired of hearing people say this guy is a number 1 corner. He's one of the best corners in the league. No, he's not. You can't get beat. You can't get dominated by Lazard. And I don't think Lazard is a bad receiver, but dude, he had his way with Lattimore last night. He beat him for a bomb, and then he got the touchdown right after that. Yeah, I don't know if they putting these guys in bad position, because on that play, Lattimore was kind of shaded outside, and Chauncey Gardner was in front of him, but Gardner let him go, and Lattimore was outside. The dude went inside up the seam, and your boy tried to run, just followed him. Just followed it. And then he did the same thing with PJ Williams. The same thing. PJ was how can a dude who's 10 yards, 15 yards off the ball let somebody run right by him? What kind of, man, you got a 10, 15 yard head start and the dude runs by you. The dude, he just looked at the guy and waited for him to make a move. The dude made his move and he just trailed it.
Yeah,
he just trailed it.
Revolt, that's terrible, man. I don't know what kind of play you running. Well, you play the man 5 to 10 yards off, and then when he gets past you, you just let him go. I mean, I guess that's some type of zone they was playing, but I mean, come on, man. If there's nobody back there, you can't let the man get into an area and not cover him. But Lazard ate his lunch, bro. He had double and this is the same thing that's happening. And then not only that, but the tight ends got going, the extend drops. And it's the second time that I've seen that happen in these close games where the Saints can't get off the field defensively speaking, and the garbage tight ends, second string, third string ass tight ends who ain't done nothing all season all of a sudden start catching passes and running up the field on the Saints. I don't understand that. Hold on for a second, Revolt. We got another call online. Just give me a second, my brother. Thank you for calling the Great Saint Think Tank family. Who's on the line?
Hey, Q, this is Ernest. How you doing, friend?
What's up, Professor? How you doing?
I'm blessed. How you doing today?
I can't not complain. Well, maybe a little bit about these Saints, but outside of that, everything's fine, Professor. But
well, I'll wait on the line after you talk to Revolt, all right?
Thank you. Appreciate you there, Professor. We got the Professor on the line. Big ups to the Professor. All right, Revolt, go ahead, my brother. Sorry about that.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna wrap it up, man. But that what you were just talking about, man. The flat bootlegs into the flat was open all night long. They kept running the plays that was working. Now with our offense, it's like every play we do something new. We never get a rhythm because they get a play that works. You never see the damn play again. You never see it again. Everything is some new trickery shit coming out of a play that we've never seen. You play ball, and I mean, you sound like me and you around the same age from the history that you be talking about. Now you remember back in the day, every team had a bread and butter play.
Yes, sir.
I know you heard the term before.
Yes, sir.
And your bread and butter play is a play that you do well, and you know most of the time when you run it, you're going to get positive yards from it, and you run that play a lot every game. Other teams know it. They can't stop it. It's your bread and butter play. You go to it when you need it. You go to it when it's working. We don't have no bread and butter play. We don't have no bread and butter play that works. Now, we got the Taysom Hill quarterback keep student by the left, but that never works. So that's not bread and butter play. We don't have no bread and butter play that I can see that works every time you run it. It's positive. And you keep it, and that's when you get your rhythm. You come out 1st and 10, you run your bread and butter play to get things going, get everybody crook. But I don't know. The last night, their bread and butter was the flat, and they kept running it. I mean, the bootleg, they kept running it. Caden Ellis got beat again on the goal line, letting people run free like he did the last 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
He letting the tight end out in the flat, wide open.
Yeah.
That they kept running it. They kept running. We don't do that. We see some work for us. You never see it again.
I mean, you had the running game working for you last night. Revolt 6.1 yards per carry.
Man, don't start, man. Man.
You had that running for you. You were working. You had Kamara averaging 9.7 yards per carry. You had Latavius Murray averaging 4.8 yards per carry. You were averaging 6.1 yards per carry as a team. That was working.
That dude be lying when he be talking about, I got to watch the tape. He don't be watching no goddamn tape. He be lying.
Revolt, you know what? When I said, okay, last night I was listening to him and y'all heard, I let him play for a little bit, and I was disgusted. I pulled him off. I took him off of there. I got him up off of that. I don't know if y'all seen that. But I said, you know what? Enough to hell with Sean Payton. He ain't nothing but sit up here lying anyway. But I came back the next day and I was like, well, let's see what he had to say in the teleconference, because he does that teleconference, and I get those.
Right.
So I'm sitting up here listening to the teleconference with Payton, and I'm trying to wait to find out if he had watched the footage. Well, he said he watched the footage, and he had the same responses, similar to the responses he had last week. What happened with the Raiders? All this milquetoast, regular stuff about, hey, we got to do better. We got to do better. We got to block. We got to, that's the trust. No, listen, that's general nonsense there. That's just the general genetic spill that a coach gives you just to bellow out some stuff because you're asking questions. But the truth of the matter is, let's get specific. Where's the specific data that we're looking for? Like, why aren't you not running the football more to build the run? Why are you allowing? You are the reason why the defense, and see, and like Tess said when she just called. Tess said, well, Q, that's your job to kind of do, break that down. And she's right. And this is what I've gotten from the whole ordeal. Not the reason why I say it's all Payton's fault. It's all Payton's fault because it's him not committing to the running game when the running game is right. Now, remember, I say this and I show it on screen for documentation purposes because they can pull that other stuff down from their websites, but I can always refer to it if I covered it on the show. I can then pull it out and go back and show you what the statistics were for that particular game. That's why I do it like that. So last game was 5 yards, almost 5 yards to carry against the Raiders, and he didn't do it. This game, collectively, it was 6.1. And the issue is, the reason why the defense looks so bad is because of Sean Payton. How, Q? Because Sean Payton is not using the running attack to extend the long drives to allow the defense to rest. That impacts everything. And people saying Q is Breeze no. It's not Drew Brees. It's Sean Payton. His inability, or not inability. This is not an inability. This is not something that he can't do. This is something that he won't do. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm telling you that he won't do it because he has a pass first mentality and he refuses to run the ball. Even if the losses mount, he will refuse to run the ball, even if he knows he's supposed to. He looked at that footage just like I looked at that footage. The reason why the defense is getting it handed to him is because they're always out there. That's why they're tired. That's why they're being exposed. That is a tired defense, and that is because the offense, like it opened the game up, it went 3 and out, and then gave the ball to Aaron Rodgers. See, you can't do that. You have to run the football, and when you establish it as a run, then start throwing the football, and it opens up the lanes, and you can do what you got to do. And even if you want to cheat, you can go 2-minute offense in a flash moment to take the defense off guard and hit them with the 2-minute offense and keep moving the ball and keep them from substituting and tire that defense. You can even do that, but you don't have the offensive imagination to do that. But the reason why this team is suffering and the defense looks like that is because of your coach. Your coach refuses to run the ball, to extend out the time of possession, to allow the defense to rest. And that's the issue. Your offense is not moving. It's the passing attack is not working right now. They're out of sync. So the only thing you have that you can't do, if you can't pass, the next thing is to run. But you know what Payton will do? He will run out of a passing play, out of a passing scenario, despite the people telling him to run the ball. So if he's going to run, he's going to run. It's going out of a pass. Look like he's going to pass it. And then he draws it to Kamara or whoever's back there. And they don't have a fullback. They don't have none of that. And they run and he get 2 or 3 yards. He takes a hit because the linebackers come up and lick and give him a good shot. That's Sean Payton doing that. So why would you then activate 3 tight ends and talk about 3 tight end packages? You have a fullback on your roster. Why do you have a fullback if you're not going to implement the run? So it is all on the shoulders of Sean Payton. And if them stupid media people in the networks pointing at Drew Brees, they're not even saying it's Payton. They're looking, the people in the media's not even asking the question, why aren't you not running the ball, coach? You know, and I know that if you run the ball, you've won those 2 games. The reason why he won't run it is because he wants to win in his way. And if his way doesn't work, he will live and die with the consequences. But unfortunately, so will you. So that's why I'm talking about all these people want to hold on close, hold on to Sean Payton. Man, I'm not holding on to a stone you in the river. And then you hold on with that stone when you going down with that. Drop that goddamn stone and get your ass out of that water. If he want to sink, let him sink by itself. And people silly like, well, Q, if you let him go, they ain't got nobody. Tell that to the Green Bay Packers that had several Hall of Fame, really good coaches, including Mike Holmgren and Mike McCarthy. And by the way, Mike McCarthy was a former Saint. He was offensive coordinator under Jim Haslett. By the way, all these people that without Payton, we will surely die. I mean, what kind of fools are this? You again, Matt LaFleur right now has taken over for Green Bay, and he only lost 3 games in the time that he's been there, and he's 2-0 or whatever it is right now. So it's asinine. If your coach refuses to acquiesce to the logical running of the ball, then and he wants to lose these games, you got to get rid of him. You know why? Because you know what that's telling me? The game done passed him by. If he that blind that he can't understand that you got to run the ball to help out your defense, he ain't no good to you. He ain't no good to nobody. He a one-trick pony, and he's exposed. Everybody want to talk about Drew and the game passing him by, and he can't do this. What about your damn coach? Has the game passed him by logically? You know and I know that he could have won both those games if he ran that ball. But he will not run the ball because he's committed to throwing the ball, and the only time he won't run the ball is when it's out of a pass formation. That, to me, sound like what I would call in boxing a shot fighter. Somebody who won't let his hands go. Somebody that just, you can't adjust, will not adjust. If you can't do that, take your ass somewhere else. We'll find somebody to run this team. You need the rushing attack. You need the rushing attack to win games. That is why the defense looks terrible like that. Well, watch all these other people get it wrong. Study the film and don't sit up here and opinionate. The film tells you everything. The film also tells you that you got a 6'3", 240-pound back now named Latavius Murray averaging 5 yards a carry, and you throw the ball down the line of scrimmage to a wide receiver, and then the fast defense cover him up and sack him 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and Latavius Murray was right there back to play. Wow, makes sense of that one.
Before that, week 1, he did the same thing with Kamara. He threw it was what, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. He threw a screen. Kamara was out wide, and he threw a screen, and Kamara and lost about 5 yards on 3rd down.
Crazy. Insane.
Man,
insane in the brain. That's Cypress Hill 100% of the way. That is absolutely insane, man. That is insane. And we got, I don't know. And that's why I said, listen, and Professor, I'm going to bring him in a minute, but thank you, brother Revolt. Listen, man, thank you, bro, for your support and your commentary. Go ahead, my brother. I know you got one more thing you wanted to say.
Every time we lose, man, you see the lopsided statistics with the run and the pace. Every time we lose, it's always way more passes than there is runs. You can look at it both of these games just now. You can look at it, and it's always the same thing. And I'm out. Who that?
Thank you, Revolt. Appreciate you, bro. Wow. And you tell them, and let me tell you something, Revolt. If you get them Atlanta people out there, bro, that try to talk mess to you, you tell them look at their schedule, look at their record. You tell them look at their record. All right, Professor, how you doing today, sir? We got you in the building. What's going on with you today, my friend?
Hi, I'm doing well, Q. What I wanted to do is wait 3 weeks before I actually call back to take a look at what's going on, and it's what I said the last time I called about Aaron Glenn.
Okay.
I'm done. I'm done with Aaron Glenn. I mean, they all get toasted. And I don't know who thought a good idea to bring Ken Crawley back. I mean,
Professor, what's the deal with the Ken Crawley move? They were looking at him, and then they bring Ken Crawley back. Ken Crawley can't cover his own bed, let alone you going to put him out there to talk about playing the position in my opinion, Ken Crawley's worse than P.J. Williams. I mean, with everybody that's out there, Professor, why didn't they go to Ken? What rationale do you have to bring Ken Crawley back up in here? He was a disaster.
I can't even respond on that one, Q. I can't. I'm speechless. I mean, even Marshawn Lattimore, who is the best corner the Saints have ever put on the field, he's sleepwalking. I mean, he's regressed compared to his rookie year. He's really regressed, and it shouldn't take him much to get motivated. especially this is a contract year. I mean, he should be motivated every game, and he's getting toasted up. You got P.J. Williams, obviously. You got P-Rob, who I called toast when he was here before. I mean, you bringing Ken Crawley back. I mean, this is sad. Then you playing Malcolm Jenkins. They playing him as a linebacker. They're not playing him as a safety. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, none of them can cover. And you let third string receivers embarrass you. They let tight ends embarrass them. And it goes down to the secondary. And they can't cover anybody. I'm just tired of watching them.
Yeah,
I am just sick and tired. And then Marcus Williams, they need to go and replace him. I like what was said or what Revolt said earlier. I personally think they need to, like in baseball, the manager needs to go and just basically hit his right arm or hit his left arm and say, you got to come out. You got to come out. They just need to replace. I think they just need to basically replace all these people that are not motivated and put some people in there that's motivated. I mean, like Cam Jordan. Cam Jordan, he's doing a podcast like you with Mark Ingram. He's doing commercials, and we can't even get him to sack anybody. He's not putting pressure on anybody. And the only person who's actually playing defense is Demario Davis. He can't cover everybody. He's actually covering people better than Marshawn Lattimore, than all the corners. The best corner we got so far is Janoris Jenkins, and I don't know what happened in the second half. So I mean, this is ridiculous. They're gonna have to lock down some people, and that leads me to Sean Payton. And it's like I said earlier, the man is allergic to running the ball. He does not want to run the ball, and his problem is he's looking across the sideline at the young up and coming coach. And he sees that young up-and-coming coach, and he wants to show that he still got it. It don't matter about his ego. He needs to forget what's on the other side. If you killing people on the run with the run, why are you even thinking about doing a screen pass to Taysom Hill, or that pass he threw to Alvin Kamara that had no shot, having the two receivers trying to block for him. That had no shot. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know I have no clue what's wrong with Sean. He will run Alvin Kamara up the middle when he has Latavius Murray. He knows he's listening to what we have to say, because what he wants to do, the first play of the game, he'll hand it to Latavius Murray, get everybody all happy that he's going to run the ball, then he takes him out. Then he goes back to pass. It's just totally ridiculous. I mean, he'll tell you whatever he tells you he's going to do, expect him to do the opposite. He has no intention of running the ball. None. And what I don't understand also, Q, is that he has Deante Harris running Michael Thomas's plays. I'm like, you got all these other receivers in there, and you're gonna have Deante Harris run the same plays as Michael Thomas. When you brought in Emmanuel Sanders, he could run those. Yep. Traquan Smith can run. He's over here basically stunning Traquan Smith any opportunity he has to grow. I mean, he has Adam Troutman in after Cook got hurt. What do you want to do? He wants to put Taysom Hill there. I mean, he's got people that he's drafted, he's brought in to run these plays, but he's got his new toys that he wants to run. He's in love with Deante Harris. He's in love with him, so he'll have him run plays when he's got receivers there to run them. He could even put Alvin Kamara out there to run those plays. But the bottom line is that he has his pick ponies, the people that he wants to play, that he wants to run, and he will continue to run his little pets, and at the detriment of the team, and he will, and that even includes the offensive line. I agree with you. Nick Easton does not need to be in there. Period. He's a part-time player. When you got people like one of my favorite, Cameron Tom, he won't even look at Cameron Tom. And you can't tell me that Nick Easton is better better than Cameron Thomas. There ain't no way. And Cameron Thomas can play every position on the line, every position. And he's not giving that brother any opportunity, not one. But he'll keep Nick Easton, but he'll blame Larry Warford for the whole loss of what's going on.
Yep.
Warford is not worse than what we see out there at the guard position. There ain't no way. Right. There's no way. And it's just Sean has got to pull his head out because he's going to cost this team a chance to make it, not the Super Bowl. He's going to cost him a chance to make the playoffs. And he's got to take a look at Drew Brees, because remember, Q, Drew Brees has played indoors every game this year, every game, including the one in Detroit. What's going to happen when he goes outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
The defense keeps creeping in and keeps creeping in. And what they need is they need to make the defense honest. Like you saw Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm. He made the defense honest. Yep. If you just throw it, that'll back everybody off. And that's what he got to do. And all Drew is doing is he's dinking and dunking. That's all he's doing. And Alvin Kamara did all the work for that one play. Yep. He did. And they shouldn't have to work that hard. And Emmanuel Sanders, he about killed himself trying to catch these balls. This is stuff that Drew would put on the numbers. And he's jumping up. He's trying to kill himself, trying to catch the ball. We got to take a strong look at Drew. We do, Q. We have to take a strong look at him, because he is regressing before our very eyes. He's double clutching on throws, stuff that he'll be able to hit someone. He ain't hitting them in stride anymore. He's not. And Sean's got to take a look at his boy and say, hey, enough's enough. And if we have to take a look at Jameis, that's why you brought him in. And that's just my take. And I'm just speechless last couple games. I really am, because the Saints should have won both games. Not one, but both of them.
Yep.
And he's not using Latavius Murray. I don't know why he brought him in. And all the guy does is get you 4 yards, 5 yards a touch. And he don't put the ball on the ground like Taysom did yesterday. All you do is hand the ball to Latavius. That would have been at least 4 or 5 yards, or 8, 9, 10 yards. Latavius is killing, and they just won't use him. I don't know what Sean has against him. It's the same issue that Sean had against Mark Ingram. It took Sean years to trust Mark. Yeah. And when he had a chance to keep him, you remember what Sean said? Oh, I had a chance to keep him if he had just talked to me.
Yeah.
He had 8 years to talk to him. He had 8 years to talk to him.
Right. That's right.
He could have paid Mark Ingram. And what did Mark do? He goes to Baltimore and he looks better than he ever looked in the Saints uniform.
Yep.
And one thing I do agree with you, he's gonna run Alvin Kamara into the ground. He is gonna flat out run him into the ground.
Yep, that's what he's gonna do. That's why they gave him that money.
That's right. He's gonna run him into the ground, and he will not be worth anything, because he's using him to pass, they're using him to run, and they just killing him. They really are. When you have a big back like Latavius, you won't even use him.
Yeah, Professor.
I just don't get it, Q.
Professor, you're right, man. You're 100% right, man. Latavius Murray averages a good 5 yards a carry. I mean, you can't ask for any better than that. And you're right, he doesn't put the ball on the ground. And I've said this before, and I've said this year. You bring Drew Brees back for the final year. Drew can't be the primary source of offense for this team. He has to be a primary source. They have to operate the run in Drew as a complement to the run because of his age. Now, he can still win games for you in certain environments. I still believe that. But in terms of the running attack, the Saints have to have on the running attack, if you're going to have a 40-something-year-old quarterback. You can't not just put it all on his shoulders. Even if you look at what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are doing, they're running the ball. They brought in they're running it using Ronald Jones. They brought in Leonard Fournette. Last a couple of weeks ago, he had 100+ yards rushing in the matchup. So they're going to bat. They're using a run. It has to. You can't have a 40+-year-old quarterback and not run the football. You cannot do that. You cannot commonsensically say that we got 41-year-old Drew Brees and we expect him to throw 35+ times a game in a long NFL season up into the playoffs. You can't. That is unfathomable if you thinking that, and that's really stupid. You have to be able to counterbalance the passing attack with the run attack. That's how it's got to be, and that makes it easier for everybody, defense including everybody else. The running game has to get its share, and Sean Payton is not doing that, and shame on him, and that's why they're losing these games, because he's not bringing the running attack in the way he's supposed to, and not because he can't run, it's because he refuses to run the ball, or he goes away for it to do dumb plays, like when he's throwing the ball down the line of scrimmage, or he's trying to stick Taysom Hill in there, who was cold as a flounder. Taysom Hill ain't do nothing that entire game, and you stick him in there in the crutch of the game? Where's your game play common sense, your game IQ? You don't put that guy in that type of position. You hadn't done that in the entire game. And while the offense finally caught a rhythm when marching to score, you stick Taysom Hill in there. And Taysom pulls the ball down. He's supposed to throw the ball on that play, by the way. He pulls the ball down, guy pokes it out, they get the turnover. Ends the game. They basically walked it out after that. They could never recover from that. And that's the thing that I'm talking about. That goes on Payton too, because he was the one that called that play. Remember, not only is he your genius head coach, but he's also your offensive coordinator. He calls the plays. So people can't say that's on Pete Carmichael. It is on Sean Payton. There is no way around it. The game management, the mismanagement of timeouts, the misuse of the running game, the overuse of the passing game, even though it's not in sync, it's all on this stubborn ass bullheaded coach that nobody could tell nothing to. But the reality is it's a good and bad. As I've said, this is a good and bad because, number one, it shows you that the issue with the Saints is the running attack. That's the issue. And it puts the onus and the pressure on Payton to get it right or keep losing. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to lose again to the Detroit Lions next week. You have to change up. How many losses will it take for you to understand that what you're thinking is wrong, fool? How many losses will have to mount up before you understand that you can't do that and you need to run the ball with a 40-something-year-old quarterback? Are you out of your mind here? That's the type of stuff that we putting on them. But you keep four. The thing is, you had 4 active running backs on the roster. They brought in 4 running backs. You had Kamara, Murray, Montgomery, and Washington, who's on the active roster. And Washington is a bullheaded back too. He averages 5+ yards a carry since he's been here. So you have 2 bull backs. You refuse to utilize them, but you're going to run Kamara in the ground and run him out there naked, meaning they're lining him out there without any fullback or anybody blocking, so linebackers can tee off on him for real. And that dude's a genius. Man, I've been saying this for years, man. That his ego is out of control. His mind is somewhere. It's not grounded in reality. But I tell you what, keep letting these things pile up. And for all the people out there that were diehard 100% supporters of Sean Payton, listen, I'm a New Orleans Saint family member. You understand me? And listen, if Sean Payton starts screwing up, and he's been screwing up over the last 10 years, we've given him a 10-year cushion to get this team into the Super Bowl since the last Super Bowl. By the way, he used the running game to get in there, by the way. But now the last 3 years of absolutely Three Stooges-ass football, we've fallen through the flow, and then this year they're still making excuses. Well, listen here, we're going to push them out the way. I'm sick of they detach from reality. You can't give somebody a 10-year cushion and they failing miserably in the playoffs. And the majority of the time is because he's not concentrating enough resources to the pass rush. How do you go in the final year and you draft it? What sense does it make to draft Ruiz with the first round pick, 24th overall in the draft, then say, okay, we love Ruiz, we're going to play him at center, then bring him in here and play him at guard, then switch him to center. He gets hurt, and now he's a guard again. Why didn't you just draft a guard? Why would you need to change from McCoy? McCoy was doing a good job. Why would you then need to shift McCoy to a guard, which I think he'll be a fantastic guard? But why not get that process started early? Why would you keep McCoy at the guard, at the center position, and play Ruiz at the guard? What sense does that make? That made no sense, and you got rid of a three in a row Pro Bowl player, basically blamed him for that, and you going to bring Nick Easton into here and say, well, we're going to do better with Nick Easton. Are you kidding me? And look how they look. But they still can get away with it if they ran the ball, which he has no intention of. So let's see how many losses mount up, because you can't beat nobody playing football like this. You are wearing out your own defense because you refuse to acquiesce to the running attack, and you have your defense out there all that time, and they don't know what's going on. They running around with chickens with their head cut off, saying, why is the defense have given up so many big plays? Why is this? Why is there so many people? Because those cornerbacks are holding, getting pass interference and plays because they tired. And that's what the coaches tell them. Listen, if you're going to get burnt, grab the goddamn guy. We'll take the penalty. Just don't give up the touchdown. That's what they tell them. So if me knowing all of that and saying what I say, that's why you see this defense look as bad as what they look. They're out there too much. They're tired. And tired defense make mistakes, like they get gashed for big plays, like what happened when Richard for the Raiders were able to bust that 10-plus yard run to break open the game for the Raiders 2 weeks ago. Or when you see players like Lazard make catches, or the backup ass tight ends running around unabated, unguarded. Tired defense make mental errors. They get tired, they make mistakes. They start miscommunicating, and that's what you've been seeing. All in part because of the running the game. That's what it comes. Sean Payton's team is unbalanced, but I guarantee you turn on any of these other sports commentators in the national media, and they all got it wrong. What's going on with Breeze? Anybody study tape know what's going on with the Saints. The Saints are not committed to the run, thus it's hurting them on the field all the way around on the defense. So a big up, give me just a second, Brother Ernest. Travis Johnson, who that to your family? Thank you for your super chat. He says, our wide receiver trash. He said, is our wide receiver trash and can't get open, or is it true that Drew can't throw the deep ball anymore? And I was riding with Sean Payton, but now I see Q. He said, now I see Q, shaking my head. Thank you, Travis. And a lot of people are waking up to that fact. I've been yelling this for some time, family. And I'm glad to see a lot of the family members are finally seeing what I've been saying for a while about Payton. I had to document it and show you stuff, and people thought Delvin Bro was hating on him, and this other idiot Marshall was hating on him, and Marshall got some sour grapes, and Keenan Lewis and all them was talking about. I've been saying, I say, man, this dude is not operating it right. And the way he was winning because of Benson. Benson was the alpha dog in the building. There are no alpha dogs above Payton challenging him with his football knowledge. Now, Jeff Ireland can, but Jeff Ireland will never get in between Mickey Loomis and Sean Payton. Sean Payton knows that he has a direct pipeline straight to Mickey Mouse Loomis anytime he wants. He can get him to do whatever he wants him to do. You know Mickey Mouse Loomis is not going to check Sean Payton, and Bensel and all the rest of these bureaucrats that sit up there in that team don't care nothing. These accountants, the only thing they care about is getting the money. By the way, let me make mention of this because I was going to talk about it on the show, how a lot of these professional teams are getting, how they're not complaining about people not being in the stands. You would think, as greedy as the NFL owners were, they would be upset that they're not getting the gate that they were getting before, when they were making hundreds of millions of dollars, billions of dollars off of people being in the arena. You know why they're not causing a fit, and most of them fussing, and we know how greedy they are? You know why? Because they're getting all of the small business money that you're supposed to be getting. That's why you seen the Forbes magazine item that came out early. I covered it on the show about Gail Benson's the richest person in the state, and her money went up almost $1 billion from last year. How is that possible? And then within the realm of time, the C-19 stuff hit, most of you guys were severely impacted by that still to this day. People lost their jobs. A lot of stuff happened. Supply lines cut. But they are getting, their money went up. How could that be? That could be because of the government small C-19 money is going to them. See how this works? But see, I have to tell you that because a smart public is an informed public is a smart public that can't be tricked. And it's my job, like Tess said, to let you know about the facts and the stats. But anyway, Brother Ernest, hold on just a second. We got another family member on the line. Thank you for calling the Great Saint Think Tank family. Who's on the line?
What's going on, Q?
Brother Paul, thank you for being that patient there, brother. Good to hear from you.
I'm ready to walk Sean Payton out of New Orleans. Who all with me? I'm ready to walk into the city limit and get your earth out of here.
Well, man, listen. Well, listen, it's always good when I got the professor and the historian together on the line. Always consider them great shows, man. When we got the professor and we got the historian lined up on the same show. Let me tell you what, that's a good deal. But hold on, professor. Hold on, historian. We're gonna get the professor back, and we're gonna let the professor say, because professor is dropping some knowledge, and I know the historian gonna bring the knowledge as well. So
go ahead.
All right, go ahead, professor. We're coming back to you, my friend.
Q, I really appreciate the compliment. One of the things I want to say is that you asked when is Sean going to get a clue about when to run the ball. It's when he's 14 to 21 points down is when he wants to start running the ball to get back into the game. Or if he loses against Detroit 1-3, he'll start running the ball again. So until his back's against the wall, he has no intention of running the ball. This is just a facade. It's a facade for him to actually pass the ball. That's it. And he wants to basically pass and pass and pass some more. So that's the bottom line, is that we can sit here and get mad all we want, but he is going to throw the ball constantly.
Well, I'll tell you what, Professor, man, you've been hitting on it. You've been right as rainwater with the predictions. And I went to this season optimistic, cautiously optimistic, saying that I think Sean Payton's going to do the right thing. With the pressure of Drew Brees being 41 years old, the pressure of Drew Brees being within his final year or so in the season, according to what he's saying, the pressure of a Super Bowl and bust, pressure on their shoulders. That's what they said, not what I'm saying, but I'm saying it as well because I'm holding them to that. But with all that being said, will be enough to push you into a corner where you would balance the offense and do that. But obviously not. So, now it becomes a race in my mind is to see, well, how many games do we have to lose until the philosophy change comes? How stubborn is this guy? How stubborn are you to then switch the philosophy to use the run? How many losses will we have to lose by way of you because you're at the onset of this? And then the gumption of this guy to stop the plane and then go and talk to his players about playing badly when he was the one directly responsible for why they look like that. You called the plays. You didn't run the ball. The defense was tired because they were constantly on the field because of your ineffective offense. So how are you fussing at them for something that you did? That shows a degree of mental incompetency in my opinion. So how many losses will it take now before ultimately we decide that he has a mindset switch to then move to the run? I mean, now that's pretty much what it is. Because truth be told, as we get closer to next week, and of course, this is just early in the week right here. We just starting the week off. I don't start talking about the Detroit matchup until Thursday or Friday of this week. But this is not a good sign. These two losses were not out of the realm losses. These were winnable losses that's attributed directly to the coaching staff. And he's pretending like he doesn't see it when I know he knows what he's seeing.
Well, they're not going to do anything to him, Q, because he's making $9 million a year.
Something like that.
No one's going to touch him, man. He can do no wrong because the only thing we're doing is like you said before, we're celebrating 2009. So the only thing that we celebrating this year is a Lifetime Achievement Award, because Drew Brees 41 years old, Malcolm Jenkins 30-some years old. We're bringing back Patrick Robinson. We're bringing back Ken Crawley. So we're just going back in time. That's it. So that's all we're doing is going back in time. He trying to bring everybody back because and the same thing. The only reason he's bringing them back because they won a Super Bowl. Okay, that's fine. But I'm tired. Malcolm Jenkins has regressed. I know everybody talks about he's been out there 100% of the time. He makes a play every now and then. But you could have got that from Von Bell.
Yeah.
You could have got that from him. And I'm just tired of it, Q, because we sitting there putting our hopes into the Saints, and they doing nothing but just basically disappoint us all the time. And it was embarrassing watching Green Bay go up and down the field on the Saints. And like you said, all you do is hand the ball off to Latavius Murray. Hand the ball off. Put a fullback in front of him. And just hand the ball off. Drew Brees, all he'll do is just turn around and hand it off. Taysom Hill does it. Why can't Drew Brees do it? I don't know. I have no idea. But the bottom line is that if the Saints don't turn it around, they're not making the playoffs. And there's no way that Tampa is a better team than the Saints. There ain't no way. It's embarrassing to see Tampa number one when the Saints should be 3-0. It is embarrassing. And they have no motivation at all. None.
Professor, that was sobering reality. You just hit the great Saint think tank with, man. Very sobering reality, bro.
It's sad, Q. It really is. And the bottom line is that Sean, there's somebody's got to check Sean. He's got way too many yes men, and anybody in our group, this Saints think tank, he will not keep any of us because we be challenging him.
Yep.
And these reporters throw him those softball questions, and he gets upset when he says, "Look, listen, and we're tired of listening to look and listen. We're tired of looking at that, and he should be accountable because that's what he expects out of everybody else. When he first got it to coach the Saints, he held everybody accountable, and he wasn't playing. Remember when Wayne Gandy he had that lazy boy in the locker room?
Yeah.
He told him to remove. He told him to remove that lazy boy.
Yep.
Then the next day, Wayne Gandy was gone, long gone.
Yep.
And he would do that. But now it's like he got, like you were talking about last year. He led music into the locker room and all that stuff. When he first got here, he wasn't putting up with none of that.
Nope.
And now it's okay.
He ain't the same, man. I keep telling him
No.
that, Professor. He ain't the same. And
No,
it ain't a good change. Not all change is good. I keep telling people that. Be careful of any sucker telling you about trying to change something, man, because not all change is good.
No, Q, he's not hungry anymore. He's not starving anymore. He's fat and happy now. Literally. He's making $9 million a year. Everybody's telling he's great. And he's reading his own press clippings.
Yep.
And the moment he's got to get hungry again. He's got to get hungry, and he ain't hungry again. The last time he was hungry when he was 7-9 those 3 years, and they told him that this is gonna be it for you. In that 2017 draft class when they hit on all of those players, and he's been living off of that. That bought him 5 more years.
Yep. Yep.
And so he's got to basically turn it around. But if he doesn't, then they're gonna blow up this team. They really are. And it's sad because there's a lot of talent on here. So I just hope that the Saints turn around, and I hope that, and I'll end with this, Q. I hope that he didn't treat these 3 to 4 games as preseason games, so he can actually get his act together. And I hope that wasn't the case, because they could be 1-3 and 2 or 3 games behind Tampa. They don't want that because they won't be able to catch them.
Yeah, because they got a softball schedule. The Packers do. I mean, the Buccaneers do. Over the next couple of weeks.
Denver. That's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
That's a joke. And then they play Carolina.
Yeah.
So they really haven't played anybody yet. And the Saints, they can't afford to get any farther behind than where they are right now.
Yep, you're right, Professor. They got to step up, man, and that's why they pay them the big bucks. They got to step up. We don't hear no more excuses. We done gave Sean Payton a 10-plus year cushion. And people saying, well, Q, he gave you a Super Bowl, big deal, man. What good is that Super Bowl? He can't get you another one. And that's not the same coach. They people fighting for this guy. He's not the same coach. You can't. Any guy, that's a wrong type of personality to have anywhere. Somebody you can't tell nothing to. And then he making the team losing, and he refuses to acquiesce to why he's losing. He don't even look at tape objectively. If you did, you can understand why you're losing these games. You're losing these games because the strength of the team is the running attack, and you need to utilize it, especially when you have two guys. You got a new offensive lineman there, and then you got a backup offensive lineman. The running game helps guys, inexperienced guys out. It does. You give them a fullback, give them a tight end, power the ball, eat the clock, make life simple on your team, as opposed to try to do all this silliness. And he understands and he knows that, but the thing about him is he wants to win the hell away he wants to win. And that's how it goes. And sometimes that's a good or bad thing. But if it ends with a massive collapse, I think we need to be calling him out and talking about maybe the game has passed them by. Because I've seen this before happen in coaches before, where they think they can do what they want to do and win games, and then next thing you know, they had the golden touch, and then next thing you know, they turn into bronze dealers. I mean, it's not the same, and the game can pass you by, especially when you think you're bigger than it. The game is constantly evolving and changing, and you have to be cutting edges. Mean that you're changing and morphing with the evolution, or be left behind. But he has more of a revolutionary mindset, meaning he's revolving and going backwards. Because if you're not evoluting, then you're not moving forward. Then you're practically dying. You're decaying. So we talk about Drew and his oldness and all this kind of stuff, but you got to look at Sean Payton, his game plan and what he was known to do for years. Maybe he hit a ceiling because but look how you got this other guy offense beat him, John Gruden beating him. He's supposed to be the offensive mind. He's supposed to be the offensive dynamo. But if you can't beat Gruden, who's not an offensive minded, a dynamo offensive minded, exploded. Gruden's a blue collar, run the ball first play action coach. And beat you. This little floor kid using all little colorful plays, but you still should have beat that team by double digits because they couldn't stop the run. So you letting a second year coach beat you, and you're supposed to be some kind of genius? Absolutely not. Imagine that happening to Bill Belichick. He gonna let somebody like that come into his stadium and beat him like that? Man, get out of here, man. There's no way, man. And the reason why is because he can't be told anything. I already told you how he operates. And that's like you said, Professor, how he answers the question. Well, look, and all this kind of stuff. No, hold on, partner, hold on. Pump your brakes. Because you don't have to take this money. You can take your ass somewhere else. You don't have to take this money here. You don't have to take this money. We don't have, because the reality is we created this Frankenstein. We did it. We did it, and people out there telling him that he was great and that he's a genius, and that done went to his head to the point where you can't even talk to him no more. He got all the answers, even though his team falling through the goddamn floor. He blaming everybody but his.
No, sir. I just appreciate what you said. Thank you.
All right, Professor. Much love to you, my friend. Thank you, and bless you, bro. And everything going all right? Blessings and everything to you. Everything's all good, correct?
It's getting better, Q. It's getting better. So just keep me in your prayers and stuff like that. So, the family has kept me going. I'm listening all the time, laughing a lot. My last thing is Ricky had me cracking up the other day when he called. He had me.
Rick is something else, man.
He had me just dying laughing. I mean, everything he said was pouring on. Everything he said was pouring on. I like what he said was, I need to get in front of the TV so I can focus. So I can see. I wonder what he was thinking when they were losing. On the TV.
Oh man.
No, just no. The brother had me cracking up. But I want to say thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm gonna give the historian his just due and give him the floor. So thanks again, Q. I appreciate it.
All right, Professor. Appreciate you, my brother. Much love to you. God bless you, and we'll talk later.
Take care. Who that?
That's the Professor, man, chiming in. All right, we got the historian on the line. Brother Paul, how you doing, sir?
I'm just sitting there, Q, just like it's almost like your brain just been blowed just to see how this team. You know, Q, I like I said, you may mention that I've seen this before. The last 3 years of Moore's regime and Ditka's and Haslett, we've seen this before, Q. And but you know, Sean Payton, he makes it so much worse. it's because they, he took led the team to a Super Bowl. But the other three coaches didn't, reach that level of success. But it's just sad, Q. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, Brother Paul, it is sad. Hold on just a second, Brother Paul. We got another caller just popped in.
Go ahead.
What's going on, family? How you doing? Thank you for calling the Great Saint Think Tank. Who's on the line?
Hey, Big Q, thank you, man. I'm Big Rob. I'll listen.
Big Rob.
Check out what the historian is going to say. I can hold patiently, man.
Thank you, Big Rob. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the call, man. All right, coming back to you there, Brother Paul. You're absolutely right, man. It's the professor dropped it, man. He was breaking it down, and a lot of the family members, you heard Tess say it earlier in Revolt, a lot of the family members feel the same way because they're seeing the same thing. And it's
tired of it. You can hear the voice.
Right. And it's just, how much are we supposed to, and that's the thing that gets down to me, because from a level, I don't just see ourselves, we so much more. I think it's an insult to a degree to call the supporters of your organization as fans. I don't do that. I call people family members because we all family. This is all our team. We invested in this team. We're stockholders. We're stakeholders. That's how I view us. And not only do we buy all your stuff, but we also pay the bills on the buildings that you play of. And then even our tax money goes to prop you up before we get it. There are a lot of business owners out here that hadn't got none of that money, but they've gotten it and they continue to get it. And I think, and I'm against that. I'm against that because it's the power should go to the people, man. And we often so pushed aside. It's ridiculous. But how much more do you want from the city, the region, and the family base? How much more we have to give you? We gave you a 10-year cushion. We supported you endlessly. We lifted you up and elevated you with lists that waiting lists that go 10, 20, 15 to 20 years into the future. I mean, we propping you up every kind of way that we could possibly do. And all we asking is you win. So how do you then turn around as arrogant as you are and talk the way you talk to the family base and act the way you act to the media, like what you doing is brain surgery. You're not building no spaceships over there, Sean Payton. You're not building no spaceships over there, man. You a football coach. That means you look at the tape, you see what can help you. Is the running game or is the pass game? Or the passing game not working? Let's use the running game. It's just common sense, man. Your team is losing. Why is the team losing? Because you're not running the ball to balance the offensive attack, which is putting all of the extra time that you're going 1 and 3 on your defense, who have to stay out there for long periods and drives. That's what's killing the defense. That's why they're looking terrible, and that's why they hold. And I told people that maybe I should start telling people that again, because the defensive coordinators and defensive coaches tell their defensive backs to hold and grab people if they felt like they're going to get burnt, because the philosophy is to not to give up the touchdown. We'll live with the penalty. We can live with the penalty. Just don't give up the touchdown. So if you feel like you're going to get burnt, hold it.
Everybody do it. Everybody do it. You're right. When you get beat, you just start, grasping for straws, and I just do whatever I can, whether it's right or wrong, and I just live with the consequences, because I don't want to get beat for this touchdown. You don't want to be on the highlight reel, at the end of the day.
Right. So, I mean, that's
what it is, Q. Q, it's like the old, you remember I do this sometimes. You remember them old war pictures where you had the captain that goes crazy and just, I'm the captain, I'm going to take the ship down. No, captain, don't run it into the thing. No. And then everybody got a mutiny, jump on the captain, tie him down, and handcuff him. And somebody got to take over the ship, or he was trying to run the ship into the light tower. So that's Sean Payton. That's Sean Payton. And you know old Jack Nicholson? You want the truth? You want the truth? You can't have the truth, Sean Payton. Can't have the truth. He won't run the ball. Now what you think of that, Q?
That's funny. I often thought of him as the general. He acting like the general that marching his troops into the volcano.
Let's master nuclear bomb. No, Jimmy, no master dude. You gonna kill us. What's wrong with you? You going crazy? No, stop now. That's Sean Payton. He losing it. He really losing it.
You know, Sergeant from what you call it, from what's the old war movie with the guy, the jerk of a sergeant? What's it called? What is it? I can't think of the name. I seen it like several years ago. The little short, what's his name? Army. the little sergeant with the loud mouth. What is it going on with your son? Remember that little, what's the name of that movie, family? Put that in the chat if y'all remember. Metal, is it Metal something or other? But you remember him, and that's what it is, man. It's like Sean Payton, man, is like that annoying sergeant. And the team, he losing focus of the team because the team realized, truth-wise, that you're the guy, that you're the one responsible. You're the one responsible. So they're not going to say that, of course, but they're looking at him like, dude, you're the man. You're the one. You're why you're losing.
So why are you fussing at them in practice and you just go in the game and do worse than what you did the last game? Sooner or later, Q, the players gonna start quitting and you gonna see it in the play. Watch.
That's right. Full Metal Jacket. There you go. Thank you, family. That's so smart. Smart family members. Yep.
That's Sean Payton. He that general. He's man. He just nutty, just losing it like.
Well, you know what happened to that guy though. You know what happened to him. That guy. They finally took enough. You know what happened to the sergeant though. They finally took enough of that guy. You know what? It ain't end too well for him in that movie. Let me just tell you what.
No, you get tired after a while. And you know what, Q? I'm glad the fans they got to be in the dome to watch this. Because Sean Payton would be getting the boo birds, he be getting it raw, and boy. He be running the stand trying to tear out a sign talking about Sean Payton must go. So the fan would get tired after a while.
It's getting up there. I'm not going to tell you. When I used to talk like that, be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Sean Payton is the man. Oh, this, that, and the third. But funny how life changes when 3 straight Super Bowl losses, huh?
A light comes on after a while, Q.
After a while.
Like I said, we've seen this with Moore, we saw it with Dicker, we saw it with Hadley, we saw it with Bubba Phillips. I mean, you just start this an avalanche just starts in one snowball.
Right.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger as it rolls down the hill, you know. And the reporters, you got students that's going to acquiesce or whatever. Some of them going to call out the little lady that be in there, hope she staying there. Sooner or later, Q, he gonna really go off on that lady one day, and we ain't gonna appreciate it, and we gonna be mad with him because you don't talk to her like that.
No, I was saying that.
I don't care what she asked you about, do you like boxes of breeze? She ain't asked you nothing personal. Why you guys get salty with that? I'm like you. I couldn't take it up there. They would have thrown me out there. You know what, Q? I said, go to hell. Let me get out of there. I've been a loss with you. I mean, you the reason I went off. They had to come get me.
I mean, but yeah, it gets to a point, man.
Where you the problem,
right? You the problem. Right. So that's why I was saying. I'm saying that though, brother Paul. That shows some questionable mental.
Ain't wrong with the world. Ain't nothing wrong with me. The world is the problem, not me.
Right? Come on.
With a person like that,
I don't know what you can do with him, brother Paul. But I mean, every now and again, you got to question that, man. It's like, okay. If you got to self-evaluate, and you got to really mean it. If you're trying to be better, the best that you can be, you have to self-evaluate. And if you don't have the ability to, then put people around you who you trust that'll give you an honest opinion, and that don't have an agenda about you. Somebody that really care about your development, that wants you to be the best that you can be. And they're not, invested in you failing or what have you. They just want to see you be great. If you don't have that ability to do that, then find people around you. He doesn't have that. He has yes men and yellowbacks around him. And those guys are chickens. That's what it is. They're chickens. Because Pete Carmichael or some guys not challenging them.
Do you remember this? I don't know if you remember this or not. You remember when Buddy Ryan was the Oilers defensive coordinator and Kevin Gilbride was the offensive coordinator, and they had a particular game where he was making Buddy defense look bad, offense kept falling. And finally, Buddy Ryan, he was talking noise to Buddy Ryan. Now, wait a minute. You tighten up your defense. That's the reason why we can't do full on. Buddy Ryan got tired of it, and they got in the fight. He socked him upside the head.
That's right. I remember that. I remember that was. I seen that old short Buddy Ryan with them glasses on. And he popped Gilbride.
Head on that sideline. That's what would have been.
I remember that. That was when they were playing for the Houston Oilers. And Gilbride was talking mess to Buddy, and Buddy socked them.
Got
Matter of
tired
fact, they got
yeah.
footage of that. That's absolutely right.
They
That's right.
with the fight, they had to hold him back over. Said, Buddy
That's
Ryan was
right.
coming at it.
Little
He gonna keep talking
short
about this.
Buddy
He said, I
Ryan.
won
That's
a
right.
Super
I
Bowl
remember.
being a defensive coordinator. What you done did? Yeah.
Right. I remember that. Little Buddy Ryan was running right there. He sure did pop him too. He got him good. Blackened his eye. Matter of fact, he put a circle around his eye. Yeah, he popped him good. I remember that.
That's what do order for. We don't play. We ain't gonna take that lip for long. Keep on flapping, y'all. Keep on. We be the, like when we were kids. You keep talking. Come on out here in the green grass. Say it again. Say it again. Talk about my mama again. Call it one more again. And I'm going right upside you before you even say it again. We be done jumped on you. You even thinking I'm gonna hit you. Go ahead. Say it. I dare you. I never dare you.
Man, yeah, that was.
That's why he got rid of Nola, because Nola wasn't gonna take it. I can see him
Right.
sideline that he should have thrown. He be there trying to whop him too. You get tired of that, Q. Talking to people, talking down to people, and that's what Sean Payton problem is. He tried to play that field on everybody. That's why Adrian Peterson didn't work out. He's not taking it. And you know what, Murray, I give him another year, and he's gonna be out of New Orleans. I really believe that. Because first of all, they're gonna try to fool his money. They're gonna want him to take a pay cut. And the way they're using him, it's not going to change, Q. It's going to keep getting worse. He's going to have to get out of New Orleans. Because sooner or later, him and Sean Payton going to be tied up on that sideline. Because he's going to get tired, Q.
Yeah, it comes down to that, Brother Paul. And
You're going to get tired. That's bad. You see your team over there fight for one another, cussing one another. That causes a rift between the team that you may never get fixed. You really have to get another coach, Q. What you think?
Well, I mean, I don't think the truth is it's going to take some more pain for him to learn. And it's a question of whether or not he switches his mentality now before the losses mount up. You got a Detroit team we should be able to beat, but the last two teams, the Saints should be 3-0 right now. And it's due to the fact that Payton, who's also the head coach and offensive coordinator, refuses to run the ball, and he does questionable stuff when he's supposed to do the basic stuff. Instead of throwing the ball down the line of scrimmage, that way to fool a fast defense, just power the ball, man. Take the cutesy stuff out of it, dude. You can't be doing cutesy stuff like that if your passing offense is struggling. Just keep it fundamental. What's so hard about keeping it fundamental? And the issue is like, okay, it's discipline. It takes discipline to stick to the run. It does. But sticking to the run means that you'll be rewarded, because when you start running the ball, you can always have, it's like you can have the passing attack, just give them the run and keep them honest. And once they come down into near the box, then you can pick wherever you want. In the earlier today, it was like, well, he was taking what they was giving us. Nah, that's the wrong mentality. No, take what you want. If you're on the football field, you're going to settle for what somebody else going to give you? No, I thought it's a scrimmage. I thought this was a line of scrimmage war here. Huh? I thought this was a line of scrimmage war. You're supposed to take what you want, not what they give you.
Can't be satisfied, Q, unless Judah throw the ball 30+ times. That's just so stupid to me.
I don't understand, man. It's just, you can't have that type of mentality. You got to be able to ship. Brother Paul, it's stubbornness. It's stubbornness and hard-headedness. It's all I can say. It's pure. This is pure Payton stubbornness, and people can't tell him nothing in the building.
A hard head make a soft. You know what?
I know, and it's happening to us right now.
It is like I say, Q. I don't know what Sean Payton think. I don't know why he think we played the Detroit Lions and the old Cleveland Browns and the old Atlanta Falcons. Look, these teams are getting better and better every year. You digressing, and you still got the 49ers. I don't think they're gonna win that. You still got Kansas City. You still got to try to get revenge on Minnesota. You fool around here. Q. This is not gonna get any easy. I don't know what La lad Sean Payton is living in, but he really needs to do like Tevin Cameron and come back to the world. He really do. He need to wake up. He's clueless. He's at the wheel, but his mind is somewhere else. He daydreams, and he like I said, he need a day game, Q, because at night he be sleepwalking on the sideline. I'm like, what is it? I mean, it's just somebody that's really having, like, he almost schizophrenic, you know? I'm surprised he ain't over there talking to himself. What's wrong with the coach? Stop talking to me. You something wrong with you. I think you really going at it in a sporting sense. Because he's doing dumb, stupid stuff, Q, that they wouldn't even do in high school. You got high school coaches wouldn't bring Payton Hill in there to try to. Why you didn't make him throw the ball? Why run the ball? But you know what, Q? There was many times they gave. Really, when Harris returned the ball, that was a fumble. We could have lost that. There were 2 or 3 other instances where we fumbled the ball, but thank God we was able to keep on playing like that. You know, just keep on, Q, because the ball ain't gonna always bounce your way every game. You know, and I'll never forget Rob Wilson said one time. He said, you know, in the course of the game, you got to find a way to make your breaks.
Right.
You got to make the breaks. You got to get that fumble. But you, like you said, no pass rush.
None.
I mean, Cam Jordan, I never thought, and you said you had been saying that even before the season started, Cam is on the other side of 30. You got to give him. Cam Newton has just been so neutralized, Q, till he's just about done quit. Just look how he's carrying himself, how he's playing. He's not getting to the quarterback, and he's the type of guy. If he's not getting the sacks, he ain't too happy. I've noticed that about him. All the pressure and batting the ball and all that, he likes to get the sack, and that's good. But he ain't getting no help, Q. He ain't getting none at all.
Not at all. And then Trey Henderson fired off, and he was all right. Yep.
You just get tired of doing that for a whole game, Q. You just don't get tired.
Yeah, he unfortunate for Cam, man. He's on the short end of the stick, which is why, you know, we were campaigning that early on before the season started, was get a veteran here that can take the pressure off of the young players and allow Cam to not be double teamed. But what happened? We went into the season with the same stuff, and we ended up with the same results. And I think it's time, and not only the play calling is suspect, but a lot of the player movements are suspect. And it's the antithesis of it is Ken Crawley. How do you but we're saying that, Brother Paul, but also we're saying go out and get players that can impact the team in a positive fashion right now. And your reaction to that is, their response to that is to go get Ken Crawley and several practice squad players that's not going to contribute in any capacity. Seriously speaking, none of these practice squad players are going to impact are going to be allowed to impact the team in a serious fashion. So why are we not, if we seeing all of the defensive injuries mount up, and this happened last week, where you seeing the injuries mounted up, then why didn't the team then go and address it during the week? Why didn't we go last week and bring in Clay Matthews or Jabal Short or a Cameron Wake or somebody like that? Why are we still standing packed like we got the key to the city? Davenport, even if he comes back, he's missed 3 games with an elbow that I'm suspiciously thinking something else was wrong with his arm, and they just put on their elbow just so they don't get the questions. That's the kind of stuff we dealing with, just to cover up what it is. You don't go after Clowney as ferociously as the Saints did if it was just mere a sore elbow.
Right.
You put a brace on it and take a shot. That's how it goes. That's how football players are. I'm not a fan of that, but the truth be told is that's what they do. They put a brace on it, give them a shot. The same shot of the stuff they gave Tyrod Taylor for shattered ribs. And he was going to go play a football game with shattered ribs.
That's true.
So,
and
I mean,
Pete, I think Pete might be done tore some ligaments. I hope he ain't blowed his knee out, but it didn't look good, Q.
No, he got rolled up. They say it's a high ankle sprain, Brother Paul. So he'll be out for about 3 to 4 weeks, which will be good for Andrews Pete to be out, because he's still suffering with that broken finger and a broken thumb. Excuse me, and then the fact that he looked really bad. He looked bad.
Get some lather, work on some lather.
That's Sean Payton, because Sean Payton drafted that kid as a center. And if you needed a guard, if you wanted to put a guard, you should have took a first-round draft pick guard. You don't draft a center and play him at guard. That's stupid to do that. But anyway, now he has to play the kid. The kid's a first-round pick. He has to play. So now you got your offensive lineman or the rookie and a backup offensive lineman, as opposed to Larry Warford. You wouldn't have to worry about Warford if he was there. You would have had one intuition. Pete would have went down. But, you just can't keep having serious issues to the line. But we'll have to see what the kid can do now.
It's the same thing that's happened last year, Q. We get hit with it again. I was hoping that one.
Remember, they cut Clap.
But here it is.
Remember, they released Clap now.
Oh, they did?
They released Clap. Yep. They released Clap before the game.
Dude, that was stupid.
And then they waited for him to clear waivers, and I think I'm gonna have to check on it, but I think he cleared waivers. But instead of bringing him back to the practice squad, they brought Crawley here. And you're not going to see who's making these personnel decisions. Because now
I didn't know that they actually signed Crawley back. Are you kidding me?
They signed Crawley back to the act. He's on the practice squad.
You would have did better getting Milton Mack or Vince Glenn out of retirement. Oh my God.
That's what they did.
Oh,
There's no justification for that, man. This kid was awful here, man. He was awful. But we seem to be
is already about his shambles, and you gonna bring another fool back there to make it look even worse? No, man.
I wish this was fake news. I was hoping when I seen it was fake news. This ain't no fake news. This is the real deal. Ken Crawley is back on this team. I showed you his tweet. Gave you the receipts on his tweet talking about back where it started at. And I was like, I thought back where it started for him was a trash can. That's where he need to go.
Still stayed with the Eagles, man. He is playing old. Nobody else may not say it, but I'm the first one. Malcolm Jenkins, he ain't got it no more. He is really playing old. They talking about Drew Brees. Okay, we're there. Malcolm Jenkins in the secondary is playing like he's 45.
Right.
He's playing old, Q. He really is.
We'll see.
And Janoris Jenkins, I never thought he would play that bad. But he's not 25 either. So you know what, Q? I'm like Sway. The way they've been playing, they ought to lose because they're not taking it personal. Q, we need to go get a sign and go out there to the airline drive and hang out there. Take it personal. Take it personal. There's literally the whole campus, but take it personal because they're not taking it personal. Q.
Right. Well, the thing is, I've asked this before: are these Super Bowl winning moves?
Oh.
And I asked you that. You answered the question in the chat. The Great Saint Think Tank in the chat.
No.
Are these moves Super Bowl winning moves? Answer that.
Because if they keep playing like this, they're going to be hard pressed. Forget winning the division, playoffs. They're going to be hard pressed to even make the playoffs. Because Tampa Bay ain't playing, and sooner or later Atlanta going to hit a win streak, and then Carolina going to get hot after a while. I mean, come on, man.
Right. Well, I mean, they're 2-1. They've won 2 games.
Oh.
They've won 2 games since the Saints, since losing to the Saints in Week 1. They figured a way to win 2 games. They're 2-1, and they're at the top of the NFC South right now. And
you start struggling to try to stay 500.
That's what we are.
You're gonna be in trouble, baby. I'm gonna tell you right now. Because it's not like it's not gonna get no easier. These other teams, I know 49 might be beat up, but they got that edge on us. They done beat us the last time. You know, you got to think about it. It's like an old boxer, Q. You only good as your last fight. You know about boxing.
That's right.
You only as good as your last fight.
That's correct. That is absolutely 100% correct.
Q.
Yep, sir. You're right. Brother Paul, as usual,
And
you're on
once
point.
you get whooped, I mean, you know, sometimes, Champagne Man just had to come to realization. Maybe he's washed up. You know, you just have to come to that. Because it happens to everybody, Q. Even Chuck Nolan, at some time, he had to quit. Vince Lombardi, at one point, he had to. I mean, you know, even Bill Parcells didn't stay nowhere that long. You know,
that was his fear, though.
Move on,
but that was Parcells' fear, was that he stays somewhere too long and his message gets stale and the game passes him up, and it happens. And it does. It happened to everybody. So is this what's going on? Well, it must be if you can't adjust. If you're a dinosaur and you can't adjust, then let them damn rocks fall on your head and smash you to bits. But Brother Paul,
now they'll beat Detroit. That don't impress me. Beat the team, beat the big boy. Like I said, you should have beat Green Bay. You should have beat the Raiders. You know, but Q, just think about it. If we had lost Tampa Bay, we'd be 0-3.
Man,
that's a scary thought, ain't it?
That's pretty bad, Brother Paul. I mean, it makes me feel better than where I'm at right now.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, because Tampa Bay would have at least 5 more minutes in that game. I believe they would have came back. I really believe that.
Yep.
Because if you remember, they were driving on us that late anyway. You know. So but like I said, that's I know that's a scary thought, but we really could be sitting here 0-3. You know. So it's just sad. I hate to see it, but Q, some things just got to run its course, and this going to have to come to a head at some point during this season, and it's not going to be pretty. You know, and you lose it like this. What you think Drew Brees gonna come back and they do this another season? You know, he already said he want to retire.
I think he does.
Come back what you think?
No, I don't think he does. I mean, I think if it don't end the way with a Super Bowl, he doesn't come back. The only way he comes back, in my opinion, is if the Saints win a Super Bowl. There is no returning for Drew Brees without a Super Bowl. If he doesn't get it this year, he's definitely out of here because it'll be clear. I mean, I still say at the end of this year, Drew Brees is gonna throw for over 4,000 yards this year. Watch, he's still gonna get 4,000 yards. He's still, even though you could, he gonna still be productive. That's just Drew Brees. That's what he is.
Right.
He's even though he's a lot older, he's still smart. He still can dink and dunk, and he can take his shots down the field. He doesn't have access to the running game, which is why the offense looked like what it does. But hopefully when it opens up, then you can see him start to move around and do what he needs to do. But listen, if without a Super Bowl ring, this is a failure year. It's Super Bowl or bust, and that's why I keep asking everybody, are these Super Bowl bust moves? Is bringing Ken Crawley back and signing all these practice squad, great value, good players, is going to help the team in any serious capacity? Where is the veterans that impact the team now? The curious moves like getting rid of Nigel Bradham, like giving Larry Warford, the misappropriation of the draft picks. You wanted a center, but you don't play the center. At center, you play him at a guard. Then when you got a chance to play the guard in the game against the Raiders, you held him out. Nothing was wrong with him. You decided to keep the backup in. All that's misuse of personnel is dumb stuff that ultimately will catch up in the end. And he went through unabated with his decision making, and he continues to. And my pressure will only mount, and I'm only going to be more dialed in to watch how this season progresses. Seriously, I'm not backing off. I'm going to watch full. I'm gonna watch the hell out this year. Because I want to see him finally come up out of that running attack. That's what I want to see. But brother Paul, listen, I thank you for chiming in the show, bro. We got Big Rob behind you, my brother. So I'm gonna give you the last word before we go to Big Rob.
All right now, thank you now.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate the call. Who that? Thank you. All right, Big Rob, you still on the line, brother? Big Rob. Look like I might have. Look like I clicked y'all by mistake there, Big Rob. Call on back, bro. I'll get you in there. All right. Okay, family. We're going to take a few more calls. It's just hit the 9. All right, here we go. That might be Rob right there. All right, Big Rob, that's you, family.
Hey, Q, that hung up on me. This Big Rob, bro.
Yeah. I apologize, my brother. Appreciate you chiming back up. Brother Paul is off the line, so it's all on you, fam. How you doing?
Hey, good evening, family. I'm good, man. Happy Monday. Hope everybody enjoyed y'all red beans and took y'all blood pressure medicine like the rest of us. A lot. I love that the fan base is not blind, and that's a good thing. Actually, it's a good thing. We all agree that we have people that are too comfy, and I just wanted to share on my theories on where this started, some of the comfort level, and kind of hopefully what we're gonna do about it.
Yes, sir.
You touched on it earlier. Ownership. Now, she's one of the richest women for sure in America. The richest, no doubt, in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
We agree with that. That's no question. But just thinking to myself, y'all, and I'm just making it clear, these are my opinions only. Don't reflect the opinions of the Saints think tank or nothing like that. This is me. Okay. Now, after Ms. Benson... When you think about how she basically stole the team from the family, essentially, you become so comfortable, even though you do have a football team to make sure that Loomis is on top of things and whatnot. You have the Pelicans. You so comfortable that you divert resources from the Saints to advise the Catholic Church on some stuff.
Yeah.
Now, out of all the people who don't need money, who don't need resources, is the Catholic Church. Man, they money and resources longer than the Mississippi.
Yep.
But that's a comfort level we talking about, family, where, this is good. This ain't going to stop. I got my season ticket waiting list for both teams.
Yep.
I'm going to keep this thing rolling. I just got Zion. I got all of this attention. I got a football team, and every time we're nationally televised, there's a record. All of this stuff. Far too comfy, and it does start with the head. And so when I thought about that, I really think that's a problem. Now with Loomis and Payton, could you educate me, please? I'm trying to remember. Weren't they at least accused of being in on a pain prescription crime?
I I want to say I briefly remember something like that.
I
want to say
like
it was
you
somebody.
briefly remember
I
that.
think it
Like
was something with Payton, something tied to Payton.
it was
Long time
something
ago.
with Payton and stuff with just pain pills. The point I'm trying to make is
Right.
when we as family are sitting back and just having this head scratching stuff, and obviously see there's no accountability. What we may actually be watching is just that somebody who they have dirt on each other. I mean, I'm not trying to make it deeper than just the pain pills, but like you have people that obviously we do not have a GM that he seems subservient to Payton instead of the other way around. Well, just based upon what I see, I don't see Payton seems like the alpha dog of Airline Highway, no question.
Right.
He does seem that way. You don't even see, in my opinion, up and coming coaches, assistants being brought on, like that hot new person that you hear when you watch in New England, and they're talking about all the guys that's on Belichick's sideline, how the teams are just dying to get him, and that guy is going to. I don't hear in a telecast them saying that we have hot commodities, and I think that's just the ego thing. Payton is not going to have people that's going to, like you've been saying all night, just that don't make sense, coach, or however they verbally talk to each other that's going to test him and make him better. And that lackadaisical thing is clearly showing off. And I just hated the tone he had in the press conference. Mm-hmm. I look, respect to them reporters for their professionalism, because there's very few things that rub me the way that it does when a person can't be questioned, man.
Yeah. That
can't be questioned. Like it just, it drives me. And like you say, you've gotten tons of money for us. We said, when you was suspended a year and all this stuff and all of this stuff, we still have pulled for you. The least we can do is ask you a question, homie. I'm sorry. We really can't.
Right.
The entire draft department, to me, has shown for years that they are far too comfortable. Some of these picks, I swear to you, I would not be shocked if Sean Payton has let his son or somebody throw a dart and just hit a name, because some of these picks don't make no sense. And right now, Lamar Jackson is on TV, and I'm thinking about Davenport and what was given up. I think about, family, how many times on draft day have y'all said, who? From what school? and then the professionals that all they do is watch college are saying it as well. Like, I thought for sure Payton was going to get Lamar, considering Drew is obviously on his way out. Do you remember that night when we got Davenport, how the guy on NFL Network, I think that's the one who later went on to become the GM for the Raiders, Mayock,
yeah.
was just saying, not Drew, but Payton has found his heir apparent, and what a good move, a genius. Like, it baffles all of us, but that is what happened when you have an owner who is elsewhere doing stupid stuff, and you have a GM who no longer has the relationship with the coach that he should have, where I can check you, I can do things that make sense. I'm thinking about the future, not necessarily your numbers, but I'm thinking about the organization. I don't get that vibe from the draft moves that we're making, where we are thinking beyond Drew and Payton. So apparently Loomis must feel that everything, his legacy and everything, is attached to Drew. Where Drew goes, we go. Forget which way the NFL is going. Forget evolving. We going to just do this thing here and just enroll it and see what happens. But I want to just encourage the fans to remain honest. And remember, we can learn to love new stuff. Everybody that's from New Orleans, remember, at some point, the Huey P was the only way we got across the river. But something better came along called the Crescent City Connection. And none of us, if we can help it, will go back to it. Yes, the Huey P was a good thing when it was all we had. Guys, we have
Boy, they used to be scared driving across that sucker there, Big Rob.
That thing is the slimmest.
They
my
extended
girl's in the other
system,
room listening to this, bruh. I want her to know that I'm not lying, baby. That is a slim, terrifying bridge.
Yeah.
And Big Q is my witness.
Yes.
That
Big Rob is 100% right. They extended it since then they did the renovations. It's now, what is it, 4 lanes now? And on one side, it's 3, 1, 2, 3, I won't say 3 large lanes. They finally redone it, bro. They extended it.
Unfortunately, we cannot do anything to extend Drew besides PEDs. You know, there is no 4-lane extension for Drew. It's over with. It's over with, y'all. It is. But that was just my idea. I just think there's a lot to be said though about. I just put myself in the player's shoes sometimes and just think about like if you're looking around to see an owner that seems to be about the team and doing the best. Because I really do see in the team, I feel that they know Drew don't have it, man. And they just seem that way. And for the and this is my last point, guys, family. My thing about the DBs, I really do feel is they don't ever see deep balls until they go against them on Sundays. That's the only time they get to go against deep balls because I doubt seriously Drew is ever throwing a deep ball on Airline Highway for practice. So if you were never, ever, ever practicing against it, that's kind of how you will look on Sunday. They look like how I would look if I had to go out there this Sunday. I mean, I'm going to hold you. I'm going to throw you down if you got past me. But I doubt they're practicing against that. But we deserve better because all of us who are listening, I'm sure, y'all was the Saints fan when we had John Forcade. And y'all was excited when Steve Walsh got off the plane.
Yes,
y'all
indeed.
Remember, you
songs
remember when
about
Jeff Blake came.
Yep.
Yeah, y'all remember with these guys we had. Y'all remember how we were all behind Jake Delhomme and all this. You remember how we hated Bobby Hebert for going to the Falcons. Hey, we've been here, guys. Payton and them are the new people. Loomis is the new person. Hell, the owner is the new person. We have been about this team. Be unapologetic about what you require in return for it because your finances, your love for the team, all of that, man, that can easily go elsewhere if you chose to. So remember, y'all, those people on Airline Highway are the new folks. We've been about loving our squad before they had the facility on Airline Highway.
Yeah. Well said, Rob.
Real stuff. Real stuff, guys. Hey, I'm going to keep looking to a better time. I'm going to just go ahead and trade him on Madden just so I can feel better. Let Drew drop him or something just so I can feel better about myself. Hey, guys, y'all have a great one, man. Who that?
Who that? Thank you, Big Rob. Peace to you, my brother. All right, that was Rob, man, chiming in. And before, thank you for chiming in on the Great Saint Think Tank family. Who's on the line?
Man, this your boy, Bear Q. What's up with you, man? We just watching the show.
What's up, Bear? How you doing, fam?
Man, this thing chilling, bro. Just listening to the family. Everybody speaking facts. Man, Big Rob speaking the truth, dog, about them being too comfortable, bro.
Right.
They too comfortable in there. They stay way too comfortable, dog. I don't like all this losing we've been doing.
Yeah, it's a lot of funny style, and they are really experiencing a great wealth that we've given them, bro. And that's the fantastic thing about it, man. And we don't ask too much out of you. All we ask out of you is simply win. You know, we want you to win. We've even allotted these guys to have a 10-year cushion to do it. And we're getting a little too much arrogance from Coach Payton's side of the fence there, Best. So you're absolutely right. Give me just a second, my brother. I got another call on the line here.
Oh, for sure.
Thank you for calling the Great Saint Think Tank family. Who's on the line? Hello, are you on the line?
Yeah, it's Brother Trey. How you doing?
Trey, what up, fam?
Oh, I'm doing all right, my man. I'll wait on you.
Oh, man, all good, bro. We got Brother Bear right ahead of you, that trail. As soon as Brother Bear finished doing his thing, we're gonna slide you in there, bro. And okay,
no problem.
Thank you, Trail. And just to piggyback on what Big Rob was saying about Payton, man, a lot of people, and I remember briefly going back in my Saint now brain about what happened with Payton, with the pain pill situation, and I was able to pull up an article from PFT, and you can Google that, and you can pull up stuff from NOLA.com. I just chose just to source it from PFT. Payton implicated in alleged Vicodin theft at Saints facility. And this came about as a result of Director of Security, Jeffrey Santini. He sued the team for what was called constructive discharge. He alleges that Mickey Loomis attempted to cover up the evidence that Vicodin was being used or stolen from the team drug locker by 2 senior staff members. So, you know, and it also lists in the lawsuit. It lists in a lawsuit that Sean is one of those staff members, and they had a whole little deal about that. So remember, this is just alleged stuff that they were talking about here. And I think it says Bensel, he declined to comment. And this was way back in 2010, by the way, man. And I didn't remember whatever took, if this was actually settled or what happened with it, but that just brought to mind some information I just wanted to share with the family members about this a while ago. All right, Bear, go ahead on, my brother. Go ahead and break it down, bro. What you see was going on with this team, bro, and what we need to do to get on point, bro.
Well, I'm glad that most of the family's starting to come on. Like I said, I've been on this Fire Sean Payton train for the last 2 years now. His message been got stale. His philosophy is old. Q is not going to work no more. It's obsolete now. His whole entire philosophy, and he is an offensive coordinator masquerading as a head coach. I'm telling you, the Saints are burnt with this man, unless they move him to offensive coordinator or something. But as a head coach, I don't think he's going to get it done. But the thing that's really, like everybody said, that's really rubbing me the wrong way about Payton is his arrogance. If I can't even question like a decision that I don't like with you, then what are you the head coach for? That does not invoke you to think about what we asking. Does that automatically think that, am I now the enemy because I criticize you? What kind of stuff is this? You see what I'm saying? You don't run no team like that.
Right.
And if you look at what the team is actually doing on the field, I don't think Breeze is the problem. Breeze hasn't cost us any of these games. When Breeze begins to cost us games, then I would have a problem with Breeze. But like you got to understand, the coach put them in that position, and I just need Breeze to throw past the first down marker or try to get first downs on first and second down. These third and longs, they are too comfortable with them, and they never really get them. But I really think that he missed Michael Thomas, though. Little is said, but these receivers are not getting open. I'm looking at them, and I'm trying to see why Breeze not going deep. I don't see many open receivers. I really don't see it. You see them every now and then, but not as often as, you need to. These receivers, it's a reason Michael Thomas is so far ahead of the rest of the receivers when it comes to catching the yard. It's a reason because he's the only one open out most of the time. You see what I'm saying? These receivers we got, they not that good to be talking about Breeze to go downfield. Plus, I like the way Breeze play because he eats up the clock. So if we had to play a team like Kansas City, you see what I'm saying? Even though Kansas City, they one of the only teams they can score from anywhere, anytime, no matter what, no matter how long, how far away from that is. So the longer you keep the ball from them, the more time you have to run off the clock and score. Because even if you can tie up with them score for score, they score in 1 or 2 seconds, it takes you 10 minutes to score. But at least you'll make it to the end of the game with a chance. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But they won't even run the ball anymore. The first half, before the halftime, he was running that ball, and I was like, you know what? That's good. I was starting to smile a little bit, but then he just started throwing for some reason, and that's when them damn 3 and out started coming back. And he cannot do that. He has to realize, man, just be patient to the end of the game and run the ball. But like I said, I think he should have been gone a while back. He didn't really do anything bad. His voice is just stale. His tactics are old. His defense, that's a shame. That's a freaking shame what they putting out there on defense. And it's a shame to say we got this good roster like this. This is a top 5 roster being squandered in our face. And we might see these people walk out the door with no Super Bowl. Real talk. And look, we really, really close to losing to the Lions coming up. A lot of people can't see it coming, but just like that Raiders game, so I didn't watch that Raiders game. That's the perfect type of game for the Saints to lose. John Gruden, first game, new stadium out over there, they full of energy, and the Saints just come waltzing in thinking they about to beat somebody. So that was kind of a perfect storm for the Saints to lose that game. But what's going on right now, there's no way Marcus Williams should still be a first stringer. I'm sorry, he don't turn his head around. He do not turn his head around. I would rather DJ Swagger right there. At least he got some heart. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm feeling on that, man. I'm just tired of it. I've been saw the staleness of this man. And I'm glad everybody else starting to come around and see, because at one point you can even question them to the family. You see what I'm saying? The family will tell you, no, Payton one of the best things to happen to us. But now people starting to see what's going on with him. He arrogant and he won't change. It's like, dude, you got the team. Like we got players like Suarez. We got Dwayne Washington. We got players like Troutman and Deante Harris not even being used, bro. Not even being used. Like at least try something. You see what I'm saying? But what you doing, you see it's not working. And the league has really passed him up. His time is come. It's coming, it's gone, I believe. I believe it's coming, it's gone. And he has to either evolve, like you said, move forward, or man, you guys just get on down, big dog. It's just like Big Rob said, we don't have no up and coming coaches on the staff. That's for a reason. This man don't want no competition in that locker room against him. He don't want none, because there are a lot of good coaches who can come to the Saints and be a good coach. And not all of them are coordinators and stuff. Some of them are just regular coaches. But when Mike Nolan left, I kind of got that vibe from him too, because Mike Nolan, I think he would have rised up the ranks in the Saints locker room as a coach. But like you said, there's no competition in there, so you know he don't feel the heat. But yeah, man, everybody just know how to beat us now. Well, they been know how to beat us. They just couldn't stop it at first. Now they know if we sit on everything low, hey, you got a chance against the Saints. You really got a chance against them. But I'm thinking they can shake back. It's gonna be a decent year. It's gonna be a hard year. But I'm thinking we're gonna shake back. But I'm not too sure about this team. And one thing that do burn me about this defense is that 2 linebacker situation. When Aaron Rodgers ran that ball up the middle of the field for that first down, towards I think that was the 3rd quarter or 4th quarter. I mean, that's because we only play 2 linebackers though. You know, that's the reason. A lot of non-mobile quarterbacks can run up the middle on the face. I've just seen Aaron Rodgers did it. Which other quarterback in Atlanta? Matt Ryan did it. You know, you can run on the Saints if you at least halfway mobile. But the way our defense get carved up, they have no aggression. If you look at Seattle, they create their own energy on defense. Our defense don't do nothing like that. They don't do anything like that. It's like they don't even have no heart. They just wait and hoping. They hoping they don't catch the ball, or they hoping to be they drop the ball or something. But every team know how to beat us. If you want to score on the Saints, throw the ball. Either you're gonna get a pass interference, or you're gonna catch the pass. It's no in between, no drops, no none of that. Either you're gonna get your interference call, or you're gonna catch that pass, and that's unacceptable. We will never win the game. We'll never be the whole on if we keep playing like that. And they got to go in that locker room and really talk to themselves and see what's going on. But I don't think this gonna be the best year for the Saints. I think they might be able to sneak into the playoffs though. What you think? But I just don't know, man. They got a lot of good teams around. A lot of teams. The Saints didn't get worse. The NFL just getting better and better and better, and the Saints are stuck in mud. It's like we trying to make something that used to work again. When all you got to do is, come up with another idea and see how to go. Our team built to win. They built to do damage. It's one of the best rosters in the league. But the only thing holding them back, literally, everybody trying to find out what the problem is Sean Payton and his philosophy. He will not relinquish any control to anybody anywhere, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a lot, Bear. You hitting on a lot of points, bro. I still, my opinion is, I think that the Saints are a loaded roster. I think they're very much talented. I think the Saints could still win with Drew if they keep it real and bring the running game and use the running game as the primary focus. Not Drew as the primary focus, but the running game as the primary focus. The guy's 41 years old. I mean, you have to have the running game. I thought that's why Payton had 4 running backs on the active roster. I mean, you have to run the football to balance the team. You have to eat clock. You have to learn to be an offense that is predicated on and having long drives, 4 to 5 minute drives that steal possessions from our offensive counterparts. We have to be able to do that. The running attack is actually pretty good this year. You see Latavius Murray averaging 4.5, almost 5 yards a carry. Kamara last game had almost 10 yards a carry, but yet we didn't utilize the running attack when you're running it 30 plus times a game, which is what it should be. And if you're doing it like that and you're beating their defensive line up, that means you're dominating the line of scrimmage. The Saints averaged 6.1 yards per carry against this team yesterday, and we didn't capitalize off that. Had we did that, then we could be able to have eaten the clock, and we could have really beat them into submission because they didn't have a good run defense that could stand up to our running attack.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Their run defense could not hold our running backs.
Right, and that's the thing that we ultimately have to eat. And the question is, going forward, is how fast does Payton understand this? How fast does he understand that the key to the salvation of the passing attack is the running game? Now, that shouldn't be a stretch. That shouldn't be a stretch of imagination, being that he's, as everybody termed him, the genius. A genius should be able to figure that out like that in no time to understand. You must bring the running attack in its truest sense and not on the back of the passing game. No, the running attack must be the primary mode of transportation for the ball. The passing attack is on the back. If you can flip-flop your philosophy, you will see success because most of the teams in the league have been brainwashed to think that the Saints are a finesse team. Well, you can trick all of them if you go back to your ground and pound roots. Once you do that, then and they drop those safeties, you can open up that passing attack again. So, I mean, you can still have the passing attack. You don't lose it because you run the ball. You just got to know you have to have the discipline to run to open it.
But yeah, man, they've been burning me up with that. And another thing I have to say, bro, Anzalone trash. Anzalone, I mean, he make the worst reads. He make some of the worst reads I ever saw. But I think they'll straighten that out. But this defense, I believe somebody needs to go. Either Aaron Glenn or what's the other guy's name is? Or Allen or Dennis Allen. I really believe one of them has to go. This situation with this cornerbacks, it cannot continue, Q. They are like I said, if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get the same results. They being insane, thinking that these cornerbacks are ever going to cover anybody. Just look at what's out. Like Earl Thomas, he's still on the market. I'm not saying we should get him or nothing, but you got to understand, man. You got these same like Marcus Williams. He's not gonna ever turn his head around. He's not gonna ever really make the tackle in the clutch when you need to. You're gonna always go home disappointed, wondering what if. And like I said, we watching this team this year, but a lot of people don't understand we really might miss the playoffs, which I think might be good for them. I really think that might be good for the Saints to miss the playoffs this year, to finally to pull that scab off, to pull that veneer off of what's really going on with this team. And I look at the locker room culture, this team that Sean Payton created. It's a good culture when it's winning and stuff, but every player can't vibe with this culture. Like Adrian Peterson and Browner and them, everybody can't vibe with the culture, but that's okay. That's how the locker room works. But Sean Payton got to know, man, he got to do a better job. But he also needs to know shit rolled downhill too. And the who that family, the voice is getting louder and louder and louder for him to start making some changes, or he's gonna have to go himself. Like I said, I think he could shake back, but if he don't change what's going on, if he don't change his attitude and his philosophy and that arrogance he got, man, he could just go. I really wouldn't mind. I really wouldn't mind seeing the things in a little rebuild. It's not gonna be the end of the world or nothing. But yeah, the biggest thing I took away from the game is they got to win on first and second down. Stop getting in third and long. And another thing, the defense do have to step up because I remember watching Eli Manning just deteriorate in front of our eyes. I do not want to see Drew Brees go out like that. That'll make me even more mad to see Drew Brees deteriorate in front of my eyes like we did Eli Manning. And Joe Flacco to an extent, but Joe Flacco team drug him to a Super Bowl. Peyton Manning team drug him to a Super Bowl, so it can be done. It definitely can be done. The Saints got to really talk to themselves and realize the situation they in. They are not the same team they was 5, 6, 7 years ago. They are not that team anymore. They are a team that actually has to play and start practicing like they want to win some games because nothing coming easy no more to them.
Yeah, everybody, they're going to get to everybody's game, man, and that's the thing, man. The stubbornness. I mean, that's the angle of Sean Payton, the refusal to run the ball in the way it's supposed to. That's the major emphasis, and he he rather keeps force feeding things that don't work. Usually that's a sign of somebody that don't get it. And usually when that happens, that means that to certain aspects, the game is passing you by. You have to go back to football principles. When you're losing, you have to go back to the simple stuff, running the ball, blocking, the fundamentals. And the Saints have some kind of way lost their way. They've lost 2 in a row. Not saying that they can't take down Detroit and get a win, but Detroit just beat Arizona. They're a pretty decent club. It was a close victory, but Detroit was able to beat them. So, we said the Saints should be able to take care of business against the Raiders. We said the Saints should be okay against the Packers, and they failed. So what do we look like against Detroit? Well, we'll look at it as we get down the line. But they have to answer some questions.
I'm telling you, this game, people don't realize this team that we about to play coming up, they got a good chance of winning this game against us. It's a very good. I hope people can see it. They got a very good chance of winning this game. Simply because our defense just can't do nothing. Our defense can't stop nobody, man. They'll stop the run, but the pass, I don't know. It's really at a bad point with these cornerbacks. I don't know. It's the coaching, though. It's not the cornerbacks. These are good players. Marshawn Lattimore, Janoris Jenkins, Malcolm Jenkins, even T.J. Williams, these are decent players. They're not bad. They're not bad. But the coaching, it's the coaching that got them in these bad positions. I believe that defensive coordinator or the cornerbacks coach, one of them got to go to wake this team up because this team is just sleepwalking. Mm-hmm. And they're going to sleepwalk their ass right off the cliff. And it's going to be bad.
Well, I mean, I think there'll be a change of philosophy some kind of way around the learn. I don't think that the family base will put up with too much more losing. And I think a lot of this is going to get hot and heavy. This is a Super Bowl year. So the pressure for Sean Payton to get it right will be excruciating, I'm telling you. This is not like any other year. This is not going to be a year where we're not going to tolerate foolishness. This is Drew's final season, and Sean Payton's do it like he did it last 5 or 6 years of Drew's career. He's squandering it like he always did it. It took him several years before he built the defense correctly. By hiring the right personnel, he comes back and hires his friend to run the defense, and the defense has been suspect. He did a good move picking up special teams. He got a good special teams coordinator in Dan Rizzi. I like that move. He assembled a pretty decent staff of assistant coaches who I like a lot. But the issue is when you're not doing right, you're the head coach. You're the play caller. You have to understand that the offense is not right and the defense is too tired. That's why they're making mistakes, because you're not running the ball. So, I mean, that's what it comes down to. But, Bear, I'll give you the last word, my brother, before we move on to Brother Trail. He right behind you, bro.
All right, look. Oh, yeah, I forgot you got somebody on the phone, my B. But look, hey, with all that being said, Q, one thing I can say, some good news to the Who That Nation, man. At least we ain't the Atlanta failures, dog. These people are horrible. But I think they might be in their ain't years, though. I mean, I've been having so much fun watching their fans get tortured like this. I might be a bad person for that, but I really don't care. I've been having the time of my life with them blowing these leads, Q. It's the only thing keeping me up. It's the only thing keeping me sane from going crazy behind the Saints. At least we not the Falcons, bro. Hey, you can't even be happy if you're a Falcons fan when you up 20-something points. You can't even be happy. Nope. And then the thing about the Falcons, they watching the game and they knowing they about to blow the lead. That's the crazy part. And I just smile, I laugh, and I just can't wait. But like I said, if the Saints could win, bro, it'll make it even better. But hey, I don't know. That's the only thing. That's all I wanted to tell you, bro. I just been having the time of my life with these failures losing like this.
Yeah, me too, bro. I've been enjoying it too. Also, the Cowgirls losing, the Vikings losing. I've really been enjoying that too.
Bitches, the Cow bitches can't do nothing. I love when they lose.
Right,
I love when they lose. No lie. But I like even more when the Falcons lose. But look, I'm gonna get off your phone, Q, man. Who that to everybody? This team need to step it up. But y'all keep the pressure up on this coach, man. The team is good. It's a top 5 roster, and he's squandering it. It's gonna be so sad to see some of these players walk away with no Super Bowl at all, and it's all because of the coach. And I'm gonna get out of here, Q.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, my man, and the support. Who that to you?
All right, man. Take care.
You too, bro. Peace.
Who that?
Who that? All right, that was my boy Bear chiming in. All right, we got Trail on the line. What's up, Trail? How you doing, fam?
Man, I like Bear, man. I always enjoy Bear. Every time he called, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I enjoy him every time. If I could have just listened, I started to hang up just listen. I just like to listen to Bear, man. His enthusiasm, man. He just call us, man. Right. He's dropping though. He be dropping it.
Right.
Yeah, man. So, but man, I just wanna, I want to touch on, man. I want to touch on. Besides your show, I be listening to a few other Saints shows, and I just want to be like, man, stop. Like, this should not even be no longer talk about sports no more. Like, for real. When you get to talking about benching Drew Brees for Jameson and Payton here, you shouldn't be talking about football no more. I'm serious. Like, I mean this, Q. They shouldn't be talking about football no more. Like, for real. Nobody should even follow their pages when you get to hear them saying something that's stupid. Like, yeah, Drew give you the best option to get to the playoffs in the Super Bowl. Let's just be real. He give you the best chance. Not no Taysom here and not no Winston. Them guys haven't played no preseason games. If Drew already don't have chemistry, what makes you think they could come in and have chemistry? I mean, for that, let's just go call Aaron Brooks then. Like, for real. So that's to me, that's stupid. Like, that's stupidity when I understand the passion. I understand the frustration. But come on, man, when you get to talking like that, that's just straight dumb. Like when you get to saying bitch Drew Brees for Jameis Winston. Like, come on. Or let's get brain case. Let's just be real. Last year we watched Teddy, and we didn't even know if Teddy had an arm or not. Let Sean Payton tell you. I mean, he was what, 5, 6, maybe 7 yards dropping back. He wasn't letting that dude throw the ball. You know, and it was like what, almost to the third. I remember was it Carolina game where he barely was even throwing the ball at all, and we won by 1-2 points or something like that. It's to me, I can't remember the stats right off back, but it wasn't. We was anxious to see Teddy Bridgewater last year throw the ball, and it was like he was stalling his development and throwing the ball down the field, like he didn't trust.
Yeah, he looked awful.
And now I watched a couple Carolina games. That's not the same Teddy I seen last year at all. Not by far. That's not the same Teddy. So for people to just say Drew can't throw the deep ball, man, let's just stop. Like, for real, let's just stop. The man can throw the ball. I'm just wondering how much of the play calling, having him just second guessing, should he take a chance, because he probably don't trust the receivers he has. But to just say he just don't have an arm, like he just can't throw the ball down the field, let's just stop. Drew, for the last 3 years, Drew did prove he could throw the ball down the field. I remember he threw a couple deep balls down the field. Maybe some of them was underthrown, but it was deep. Maybe some of them that was overthrown, but they was deep. But let's just say I wonder if he just can't trust his receivers to throw the deep ball. And you know how everybody used to always complain and cry about Drew throwing the NIT. For the last 3-4 years, he's been single digit with interceptions. He haven't been in the double digit status. So let's just wonder if he just really like second guessing himself throwing that ball down the field because he don't trust the receivers he got. I mean, could that possibility be something? And then just say that he don't have an arm? I mean, because to me, the same thing you see with Teddy is the same thing you see with Drew. When you see quarterbacks that has previous in the past took over, it's like Sean don't. It's to me, it's not Breeze. It's almost to me, it's like Sean Payton. Like during the summer, I was telling you, I say it's 3 things that's gonna spoil this team: Sean Payton, Dennis Allen, and when the Saints go 3 out on the first drive. And so far, everybody was, oh, you don't know nothing about football. That's been happening. The last 3 games, that's been happening. You already have bad defensive backs, what they say, or whatever they want to say about. Put them in the best position to succeed. We don't have that. I seen everybody was talking about Williams, but I seen PJ Brown go the whole assignment or whatever happened. Man, you got a guy wide open and he barely tapped him before he went in the end zone. Blown coverages. I'm like, it don't take a rocket science for a defensive coordinator to put your players in the best position if you know their weakness. Like, I remember Roman Harper wasn't the best, he wasn't the best skilled guy in the backfield. But what they did, we maximized that guy. And it was pretty decent for the Saints.
Right.
Because they know his strength wasn't really coverage. So what they did, they maximized his talent. Like, we're going to get the best out of this guy some kind of way. It's like with Dennis Allen, you don't get that with the defense. So you see guys being out of position. And then if I go back to the offense side, I'm looking at the receivers, and it's like this connection up. I don't know what everybody keeps seeing. I ain't lying. I try to go back and watch some of the replays. I don't always see receivers open, and you don't always have to be open to win a football game. But goddamn, I mean, it seems like sometimes these receivers can't even break away from the defenders. So you don't know if he's trying to do these back shoulder passes that he's so much relayed on all his career, or it's just like, it's cute. Is it just the preseason and we just overreacting and they just didn't have the preseason to really get together as a chemistry team? And that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing the rust, the flaws right now. And maybe a week or 2 from now, we're not even talking about the same team. This team is actually better than we thought they was. I mean, because you got to realize, they're not having no preseason games. You coming straight out raw and just playing football. You don't have no chemistry with one of your guys, Emmanuel Sanders. I haven't always been a big fan of Cook, but Cook do what he do. But I'm just trying to figure out something too, because to me it seems like without the preseason games, it's just not the Saints that we see stuck. Like on offense side, there's a lot of teams you see that really don't have that team chemistry yet. Mm-hmm. And I'm just wondering, because we diehard Saints fans, we love our team. But I think we just so shocked that we like, hey, man, wait, this team ain't supposed to be like, but I wonder if it got something to do with you not having preseason. And by you not having preseason, you see a lot, not just the Saints. People have to just not look at the Saints with it. it's like all over the league. You seeing this though. A lot of the disconnections with a lot of some of them teams that you just not seeing the quarterbacks and receivers being really connected like that. Now, of course, you got some of the receivers and quarterbacks was actually playing together throughout the whole offseason because they know what was coming up. No preseason games. But, I mean, I wonder if that's one of the situations that you see going on with the Saints is that it's just rush for these first 3-4 games we might see. And after that, the Saints might just take off. I mean, what you think, Q?
I mean, that's happened before, Trell. So, I mean, you just stating a matter of historical record that's happened before. And usually those first 3 or 4 contests are what it is. The Saints usually take 3 to 4 weeks before the offense resemble what it was, you know. And I think a portion of that is due to the fact a lot of people are looking at the Saints and says, how are we losing these games when, how are we losing these games this way, the same way? You know, what are they trying to do? Eventually, what is he trying to do? It'll work a few games in there, but you can't, this type of stuff will win in a regular season. If he can get it fired up the way he's supposed to get it fired up, we'll see. But you're not balanced, and he knows that they're not balanced, So I mean, how does he fix it? That's the question: is how do we fix it? And we know, as people that watch the team that know Sean Payton, is he going to show you something new, or is he going to show you a new character attribute that you're not anticipating? Well, he showed you something new when Teddy took over for 5 games. He had to work up a new menu and a new situation. And he showed something that went 5-0. But with Drew Brees here, he begged to have Drew back because Drew provides him with a certain level of comfortability. He knows the offense better than him, I would say. And also, I do understand that Payton, he has to understand this is Drew's last year. Now, the only way he stays is if they win the Super Bowl, and I think they will eventually win the Super Bowl. It's all predicated on Sean Payton doing what he's supposed to do. Stop being stubborn and sticking to the run. That's when it comes down to. And that's the way you should have beat these 2 prior teams. It's like that we didn't belong in the same arena as these people. I mean, that's not the case. We were actually ahead on the Raiders and allowed them to come back in the game. We didn't make the adjustments needed. We didn't neutralize their tight end. We didn't neutralize their, the tight end was the one that basically beat us in Oakland. I mean, with the Raiders. And then, of course, with the Packers, Lazard ate our lunch and he kept converting. And then they used those backup ass tight ends to move the ball as well. And you were absent there. So, I mean, they talk about the defense and offense, but it all starts with the running game. You have a running game, it makes everybody work better because you get rhythm on the offense and the defense gets better because they have the proper amount of rest. They don't have to then go back on the field after a 3 and out. That's a terrible thing to happen. So if you see the drive open and the Saints don't march and score and they go 3 and out, expect it to be a rough outing because that original drive is a tone setter to a degree where you don't take what they give them. You don't take what they give you. You take what you want. That's who commands the field. The field is not for any individual team. It's a neutral asset. Whoever takes possession of the field and the line of scrimmage will control the game. That's what it comes down to. So we talking about control. Then the strongest person, and usually the smartest person, is the most creative person, most intelligent person is who then dominates and control the field from a schematic standpoint, and then it trickles down to physicalities. So I mean, it come down to that, man. What's the mindset going ahead? Is it a mindset of not making any more mistakes? Is it a mindset of Super Bowl or bust? Is it a mindset of fixing the errors, fixing the mistakes, and running the ball and balancing the team? Or is it a mindset of delusion? Is it a mindset of illusion? If it's a mindset of ridiculousness and assness that's contributed to the losses that you've seen. Well, if you look at it, the Packers game was a continuation of the Raiders game. The same flaws they exhibited in the Raiders game exhibited themselves in the Packers game, which means the Saints did not fix the issues that they were inflicted with. Will they fix the issues this week so we don't see a repeat of what happened in the Raiders and Packers affair? So, I mean, it depends. They have to come out, they have to come out in this next matchup against Detroit, and they have to handle business in their building. Bottom line, they got to get to the quarterback, which they haven't been able to do effectively over the last game and 3 quarters. I mean, they have to get to the quarterback. They have to be able to run the football, and they have to make sure they make the catches. And that's the bottom line. Now, if Davenport, I think he plays in this matchup, but how much does he play? I'm not anticipating Davenport to play 100% of his snaps. They're going to definitely, if they're smart, they would stagger his stats, stagger his numbers and his time in this game. But I would still pursue another veteran in to help me out, or at least throw Zach Bowen in as a situational pass rush to provide that asset, whatever assets you have. So, I mean, this is a roundtable discussion because another loss will be difficult. You know, you don't want this team, Tampa, to go up 3 games to 1 on you, and then you're playing from behind. So you got to figure it out, because Tampa's figuring it out. They're winning games. They're not perfect, but they're winning games as they go, and that's how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to be perfect every game. Sometimes you're going to win ugly, you're going to win close games, but a victory is a victory. You're learning in winning, you know, and based on the last couple of losses, we ain't learned a damn thing. We still did the same stuff we did in the Raiders and the Packers matchup. We still giving up big, stupid-ass turnovers. We still giving massive penalties and holding calls and pass interferences. We still not blocking and covering our assignments. We still missing tackles. We still miscommunicating on defense. And when that happens, it starts impacting all the areas of the team. So what do we finally fix the issues? Because we didn't fix a goddamn thing over the last 2 weeks. We have to make that happen this week. That's my commentary on it. But as the week gets closer, well, I'll look at some stats and see what they're talking about, engage their responses and seeing if they pissed off or not. Because they're not pissed off or not to make any changes happen. I'm just keeping it real. That's why we keep losing.
And they blame the defense for this, but like I say, when the defense, because you don't have that crowd there. And that's one thing, too, I think, going on with this. You don't have that crowd. I wanted to say something just cute, but I'm probably just going to leave that conversation alone. But you don't have that crowd there, for one. So when the defense do hype themselves up to make one stand, one good play, one good turnover, then the offense come right back and turn it over. So it's like, what the hell? Right. What I'm doing all this for? You know, so it's like, and I like what you're saying. It's a team effort. I don't care about the individual players, man. As a team, this team got to get together. And even, and to me, and I kept preaching this, man, I said this, because everybody was like, oh, you go, Sean Payton need to go. It's like with the Baltimore Ravens in 2001. That man had the best damn team ever. That voice got to the point where people, you know, they voted him out of their locker room. But they was like, hey, it's time for him to go. And if you go back and read that story, what happened in Baltimore, Ray Lewis, all of them, even though they know this man brought them a chip, and they was like, hey, man, Billy got to go. He got to go. It was like is it Brian Billy? They wasn't responding to him no more. You know, it's like it just wasn't responding. You ain't hear Baltimore talking about oh, man, he won a Super Bowl, and, man, when we going to get another? No, they ain't think like that. They went out there and got another damn coach. And what happened? You know what I'm saying? They still end up winning another championship. So it's like, I wonder too, Q, and these grown men we talking about in this locker room. And I thought about this, and I actually was talking to another Saints podcast member that was, chiming in with. I was wondering how much of the players responded to Drew Brees since since what he said. And somebody threw that out there. Even yesterday on another radio talk show, they was wondering, was the players responding to Drew? And how did that go? Because nobody really kind of know what really happened between the those. You know, they said Drew cried and he poured out his soul and heart to the team, and they said some players were still bitter. You know, and I was wondering, was Emmanuel Sanders one of them players was still bitter? Because from what we heard, that they wasn't really together in the offseason when that took place. Like, you would think those two guys would be kind of like trying to get the little kick. That wasn't going on with them guys. So, it's a lot of things the Saints got to overcome as a team. And I don't think a lot of them players forgot what Drew said. You know what I'm saying? Even though we might have forgave him, but I don't think a lot of them players might have forgave him. So, I mean, as a team whole, I think this Detroit game going to either make this team or break this team. Because if they lose this game, I think you're going to start hearing a whole lot of things coming out. Whether it's that, whether it's the chemistry, whether it's the coaching, whether it's the front, I think whatever happens if they lose this game, man, Q, I think you're gonna start hearing a lot of, backlash coming out. I think you're gonna start hearing a lot of stuff coming out that locker room. They lose Detroit, but I expect this team to go on a run. Me myself, like I expect this team to at least go out 6 straight wins after Detroit game. That's just my take. That's my opinion, though. But I think this team gonna get it together this week, and they're gonna go on like a 6-7 game win streak.
Yeah, I'm anticipating that too. This is a veteran locker room, still and all, bro. This is still a veteran locker room, and I think they'll get it together. They'll win. They ain't got no choice. Losing 2 back-to-back games the way they do it, and we know they're supposed to win them games. That's unfathomable. But like I said, it all comes down to them execute, man. They got to execute, and we're gonna have to see how it looks against the Lions coming up in this upcoming week. So it was a short week with the other game, and they have to handle business. Bottom line, so this is a Super Bowl or bust year, man. So it ain't nothing more than that. I mean, and that's what it comes down to. So all the heat's on this team, man. Ain't no getting away from that. Ain't no getting away from. They got to run the damn ball. Bottom line, they should be 3-0 right now. They got to run the ball. They losing because they're not running the ball and they're not disciplined. Bottom line, they're not playing the football, winning football that's needed to win games. They're not following the formula. I don't know what they're doing, but they're not following the formula of winning football. Winning football means dominate the line of scrimmage, run the goddamn ball, operate. If you can't throw the ball, run the ball, and then operate the play action off the back of the run. Once you establish the run as a threat. And then that helps out the defense. The defense would then get the rest that they need because they own the damn field too much. That's what it comes down to. So were they serious enough? Is Sean Payton the one? He's the guy. Is he serious enough to make the changes necessary to fix the team? Because he's at the head of the snake, and he's the reason why the team is losing because he's the play caller. He's the one that's having these three and outs. He's the one that's leaving the defense on the field too long. He's the one that's responsible for the disjointed passing attack and ridiculously of trying to force feed the passing attack when the passing attack ain't even clicking. So, I mean, any commonsensical coach would then go to the running attack, being that you're actually running the ball well. And I have to say 6.1 yards per carry is what they did against this other team here, against this Packer club, but you go away from it. Why didn't you stick to the run? You would ultimately control the clock and win the game. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, man, but they have all the necessary tools. They have the necessary thing, but Sean Payton is the one that's gumming up the works with his stupid play calling. It's all on him.
Man. Hey, listen, man. Y'all gotta listen to Q, man. He's giving you the ingredient how to win the Super Bowl. It ain't about Drew Brees. It ain't about throwing no damn ball down the field. It's about running the ball, controlling the clock. And I ain't lying, brother Q. You hitting it and you telling it and you preaching it because they keep trying to put it on Drew Brees. They keep trying to find a scapegoat. Yeah, just give it to. It's run the damn.
Simple.
What Keyshawn's favorite words? What was Keyshawn's favorite phrase when he first came into the league? Just give me the damn ball.
Yeah.
That's it. Just run the damn ball. Run the ball.
Simple. They're looking all around saying, what's the problem? It's the cornerbacks, it's the linebackers, it's the pass rush, it's the wide receivers. And they're going all the way around saying, no, man, the team is the preparation of the team is controlled by the coach. The coach is the one that's responsible. He hires the coaching staff, and it is his overlining job to make sure that the team is prepared to play. Obviously, the team is not prepared to play. And then another thing is Sean Payton is at the head of the play calling. It's not like he has a separate play caller who's calling the plays. He's controlling the plays. So if the team is stinking it up and they're going 3rd and 1, that's on the play caller, which is the head coach. The problem with the formula is that he should not be the play caller. Why? Not because he's not good and he's not entirely really that good at it. He's not as balanced as I want him to be, but he's above the accountability model. Everybody else is under the accountability model except for Payton. Payton can screw up and call these bad games and then go out and blow up everybody, delay the plane, and then have an emergency film session with the players. And they're looking at him saying, man, you the MF for making the calls. We tied because you keeping us on the field too long. You giving us the ball. You're not letting us rest enough. You're going 3 and out after we just had a 6 minute drive, and then you go 3 and out, and then I got to get back up there and run out there And hold it, that's not putting your team in good posture to win. And then you turn around and point your finger at them like they the issue. No, you the issue. You know, you're the issue. It's simple. Run the ball. You cure all ills just simply by running the ball. If the passing attack is not running, work the damn ball. And then you can get your passing attack. Once you create it as a threat, they'll have to drop the safeties to cover you, and then you go up top. You open up everything. But you got backs that average over 5 yards a carry, or 5 yards a carry, but you don't use them. But then we're going to sit up and say, oh, the Saints miss Mike Thomas. To a small degree, they do miss Mike Thomas. But still in all, this type of brand of ball will not win many games. You can't force feed the pass. You got to, it's not going to grow that way. You have to establish the run. And even if you're fortunate enough to win a few games with this bull crap formula, you're going to get your ass handed to you in the playoffs like you've been getting it handed to you over the last 3 years. The Saints have been a mistake-prone team in the playoffs and don't take it seriously. When you get into the playoffs, you got to respect the ball like any other time. You got to let them give the ball up or screw up. You can't turn the ball over. You have to catch passes. You have to catch touchdowns. You can't drop touchdowns in the playoffs and expect to win. It don't work like that. You're going to get a certain amount of opportunity to score, and if you don't handle business in that, then you miss your opportunity. It goes to somebody else. Saints had an opportunity to win these last 2 games. They blew it because they misappropriating the offense. They're passing when they should be sticking to the run. I mean, to the tune of 35 to 40 carries a game, man, because the passing attack is not there. And they can't stop you from running the ball, man. That's when it comes down to. So anything outside of that is going to equate to a failure because the Raiders and the Packers are showing everybody how to beat the Saints. Just play soft on them, and Sean Payton, dumbass, ain't going to run the ball, and he going to do all this stupid stuff and end up giving you the game. They know that. They know, the smart coaches know that he's stupid, that he's not going to run the ball to the detriment of his team. They know that. That's why they'll play soft and play the Saints for the pass because they're not scared of you running the ball. Shouldn't that tell you everything you need to know? You're not running the ball. So, like I said, man, that's what it comes down to. And that's the end result. The Saints defense is tired, and Sean Payton didn't bring enough veterans in here to help him. Matter of fact, when he had a linebacker in that probably could have helped him, he got rid of him because he wanted to see what the young guys could do. Well, guess what? When I kept telling young guys could make a lot of errors, well, you had Caden Ellis giving up back-to-back touchdowns to people that he's supposed to be covering. I thought you fixed that in the game against the Raiders. No, you didn't. You didn't fix shit. That's why you lost again. So, I mean, they're not fixing nothing, man. They're not fixing nothing until they get serious about fixing stuff. Then they're going to continue to fall through the flow. That's the bottom line. You didn't make any adjustments because you still lost. You lost the same way you lost against the Raiders, which is giving the ball up, which is not dominating the line of scrimmage, which is not stopping tight ends when you're supposed to stop them and recognize that them goddamn tight ends was wide open, running free, catching the ball. How is that happening? So, I mean, when you get serious, you're going to keep dropping games. And that's when it comes down to. You got the game plan. I don't know what Dennis Allen doing with the defenses. He allowing tight ends to run open because Aaron Rodgers was able to complete the game throwing to 2 backup-ass tight ends that ain't do nothing nowhere else, but they come in the game and tell the Saints up. So, I mean, what can I tell you, man? I mean, they have to get serious enough to stop this from happening. And until they do, they're going to continue to bomb. This is the NFL, man. Anybody can beat you anytime, as that has showed you. The Packers are 3-0 because they play better. They're a better team than the Saints in terms of how they're playing right now. As part of talent, there's not too many teams out there more talented than the Saints. But what good is having all that talent if you can't get them all on the same line and play in harmony with each other? They're disjointed. Right. They're injury plagued. They're disjointed. They're not communicating. The coach is blaming the team when he should be blaming his own stinking ass self. And that's when it comes down to. Is he going to come up out of this coma and run the ball like he's supposed to help his team win these games? That's the bottom line. I have very little faith in Sean Payton because I know what kind of man he is. I know what kind of man he thinks. And ultimately, them type of dudes, you got to run them out. Because they refuse to do what it is. And if they do it, they're only going to do it for a short time before it goes back until he goes back to what he really wants to do. He's not serious about running the ball. He got 4 goddamn running backs on his team, and he running one of them. That's why he paid Kamara, because he's going to run him into the dirt, just like the professor said. He come out here this year talking about it's hard to run 2 goddamn running backs. And I'm like, how is that even possible? How are you stupid enough to say it's hard to run 2 backs when you use 3 of them to win the Super Bowl in 09? I keep telling y'all this not the same coach. Whoever this dude morphed into, this is a guy that won't win you any Super Bowls. I'm telling you. Until he able to adjust to what's going on, this guy is going to continue to cost you games after games after games. I'm serious. Because if it's a Super Bowl to bust, you're supposed to have a certain air of desperation. You're supposed to go out and get veteran players that can come in here and brace you up because you got young players that can't stay healthy. Some bitch ignore all of that and go into the season with the same people. The same damn people, and then they injured to this day. Right now, the same people I told y'all about that got injury history is injured right goddamn now. But he the genius though. We're going to see, because this is going to be fun. And I expect every family member to still be in the building and still watch every game, because I'm telling you, it'll turn around some kind of way. This is a Super Bowl or bust year, and the pressure is on, and it's on early. I'd rather have the pressure on early than I have it on late. So have it on early. We're going to get some results. I promise you that. We're going to get some results. You're gonna get some results.
And you speaking facts too, because in 2009, I remember when he went and got Chris McAllister and Mike McKenzie just to show up with the defensive backs to make sure that this was the Super Bowl year for the side. I remember them years when he went and did all that. He went and got extra, like he got loaded. Like Sean went and got loaded. Like you say, you know what? Let's get loaded. And he went and got loaded on the defense side of the ball with veterans and everything, just to make sure if any ball not injured, we gonna be good. It's just like he just don't care no more. It's like he got his ring, he got his money, he just don't care no more. So we'll see, Q, man. I got a little faith left, man, on the team, not him, the team. But we'll see, brother Q. We'll see.
Yeah, that's all we can do at this point, and we're gonna see what happens with it. That's the bottom line, bro. So we're gonna watch.
Thanks for taking my call, my man. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, Trell. Who that to you, baby? And I'll talk to you later, my friend.
Who that, bro? Okay.
That's Trell right there, and that's the last calls that we have for tonight. But family, that's what it comes down to, man. We got to take care of business. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. We got to take care of business, and that's the only thing, And if you really need, and the truth be told, I've been saying we need more talent, but they don't listen. They sticking with these guys. We say we need more talent, and they go get practice squad guys. I said we need more talent. They go get freaking Crank Crawley from the trash bin of cornerbacks when they got Mo Claiborne and better cornerbacks out there. That's the best you can find. So this is ridiculous. This is not Super Bowl or bust moves, and it's stupid. But you want to win games, run the damn ball. That's what it comes down to. Running the ball. That's the answer to it all. Run the ball. Running the ball eats the clock. The defense rests. They'll have a better outing. That's why you see them looking terrible. That's how tired defenses look. They look like that. Tired ass defense look like that. They get ate up. They miss tackles. That's what it is. I mean, that's what it is, bottom line. Jim Kev says, how they supposed to get better, Q? I mean, listen, the bottom line is the Saints have enough talent to be able to beat the likes of the Raiders, the Packers, and the Lions and all these other bottom-feeding teams. Come on. You run the ball, you neutralize a lot of the foolishness that the Saints they've been doing. Sean Payton's offense, his passing attack, it's not moving. That's why they look disjointed. That's why they look like that. But he don't want to win with the run. He'd rather win with the pass, and that's why we've fallen through the flow. But truth be told is the Saints are not going to go and get any more credible people to bring on this team. They're not going to do it. Their mentality is to win with what they got, and they've been searching for bargain basement, great value, good players. But even if you don't bring anybody on this team, you still have enough talent to win. I mean, bottom line, you still have enough talent to win. Just treat the damn team correctly. Run the ball and balance the team. A balanced team, they're winning these games. They're not losing these games. So I mean, that's the mentality. There's no magic pill here, man. I mean, it's simple. It's no magic pill or some player you're gonna sign that's gonna come in here and make it better. Clay Matthews could operate as an end that can help out, take the pressure off of guys like Davenport. But hell, these freaking guys ain't listening to that. They're good with Trey Henderson. They're good with all these other people. And it is what it is. Nola East says 74 says Super Bowl ain't happening, period. Turn my back on the Saints this year. Well, brother, you on your own with that one. I mean, they could turn this thing around. It's only 3 games deep in the game. And this is a Super Bowl or bust year, man. You know, don't write them off so early. I caution you on that. Because they've been in situations before where when they operated similar to this and something clicked and then they turned around and started winning games. So don't be too close to write this team off, man. It's just 3 games in, bro. You're kind of premature with that. John says Chiefs don't know how to run. Okay, that's on the Chiefs. All right, Alex says, right, can't coach chemistry. Ingram was the heart of that team in that locker room. Yeah, and that's the problem. We got to run the ball, man. I keep saying that over and over again. And I hate to sound quite redundant with you guys, but that's the truth, Pill. That's what I've been saying, and I've been scouting these teams, and I say, listen, the Raiders are susceptible to the run. We power the ball on the Raiders, we win. The Packers were susceptible to the run. Their top interior defensive lineman was out for the game. You could have took advantage of that, and to a degree they did. They ran it for 6.1 yards per carry. What can I tell you, man? 6.1 yards per carry, that means you're getting what you want. But you have to stick to it. That's on the play caller, which is the head coach. He moves away from that to throw Taysom Hill in there. He moves away from that to throw balls down the line of scrimmage as the power. I can't do nothing with that, bro. I can't tell. That's stupid ass shit there. Pardon my French, but that's football idiocy, doing that kind of foolishness, and that's quite disrespectful for the defense because Payton has got to be partially out of his top. To think that will work on the fast defense as smart as Green Bay doing, they have some playmakers there. So he got to be out of his top. The only thing is, the real question is, we already have the answer of what's wrong with this team. The other answers that we don't have is whether he's serious enough to fix the damn problem right now. That's the only thing. And it's a lot of time to figure that out. It's a lot of time to figure that. So I caution all the family members to don't give up on the team. We're only 3 games into this stuff, man. It ain't like the season end tomorrow. We still 3 games. It's a long season. So, let's see what happens here. I hear you, Tess. I hear you. I'm feeling the same way. You hear I'll be up in here fussing. But the reality is, I know what the team is. I know what the team has the talent there. This is strictly the coach. This is a head coach situation. This ain't the talent of the team. This is the head coach. And most people who don't know football, the schematics, or watching film, they're going to say you is this, is that, and the third. No, it's not. That's how tired defenses look. There's pass interference, missed tackles. They're tired. They're out there too much. And that's because of the 3 and out, because of the offense, because if you're running it, you're eating clock. And if you're eating clock, the defense can rest so they can have better outings. That's the truth. That's how it works. But if you're going 3rd and out and you're putting your defense out there, it won't be a surprise that Aaron Rodgers or even Derek Carr will be able to move the ball against them. That's just how it goes. But remember, still in all, this is still only week 3. And like I said, it takes 3 to 4 weeks for you to see the Saints look like something. And this was another bad loss. A lot of people are pissed off. That locker room likes to win. They're going to eventually get this together. I still say this is a 11-12 win team. This is. They will get this together. The issue, I don't have the issue in the playoffs. My issue is whether or not, it's not the regular season. They'll figure it out. The issue is the playoffs. That's always been my issue. We'll see what Sean Payton can do, man. We'll see what he can do, man. So that's what it basically comes down to. I'm just keeping it real, family. I'm not gonna throw them. I ain't gonna throw the team out with the bathwater or what have you. It's just 3 weeks in. There's too much football left to do it any other way. I understand we venting and letting off a little frustration, and you're supposed to. This is your team. That's how because you give a damn. You ain't like one of them people that don't care about the team. You care about the team. You want to see them win. That's your squad. I get you on that, and that's why we here. 11-12. That's right, Kel. 11-12. You're gonna see. This team gonna get to the playoffs, man. It's gonna be a double-digit win for this team. They'll make it to the playoffs. My thing is, when they get to the playoffs, what they gonna do? You're gonna see. You're gonna see. They're gonna get it together. You underestimating the locker room of your team. Remember, this is just because they have a few flubs with this moron not running the ball, it'll bend. This the pressure. I'm telling you, the pressure of a Super Bowl year, A Super Bowl of bust years is unlike any other thing. It's the pressure of your Hall of Fame quarterback playing his last season. It's the pressure of the age of the team coming into play. It's the pressure of the contracts. It's the pressure of the expectations. It's a crushing pressure, and Payton has to step up to it. He has to acknowledge it. He can't sidestep this shit. He has to address it. And I'm going to be looking really good at it, and we're going to see what happens. Well, that's all we can do is see. So that's what I got for it, man. That's what it comes down to. If people asking, is the phone ring? No, the phone's not. No, it's not. The phone lines are off. That was the last call. We took the last call on Trail. We about to end the broadcast test, if you're asking, baby. Big ups to you, Louis. I see your family in the chat, and the rest of the family members chiming in as well. So, like I said, family, it's week 3 now. It's week 3. Week 3. Let's see what happens. Of course, Jim Kev threw the Saints out with the Drew Brees situation. He said, "Q, it's over with. We won't be able to rebound." I said, "Listen, man, this we got a little bit more respect for the team than that. The team is good, man. You got a suspect coach at the helm who's ego tripping, but pressure. Listen, what's that old saying about pressure? Huh? I understand, Lease, and I agree with you. He's saying it's got to be a talented team, got to be the coach, and it is. I agree with you. You're right. Who that to you, Kelly? Good to see you, fam. But no, Lease, you're right. You're good. That's what I'm saying. You're right on that. It's a talented team. It's coaching. That's what it comes down to. But what's that old saying about pressure, bro? What does pressure do? You think that don't apply for Coach Payton? There's a lot of pressure on this team. They're going to make it work, Kevin. You're going to see. Giga to test this. Metal said he was trying to call you Q. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we shut the phone line shut off after Trail got off. We about to end the show. So, that was the last call I'm taking. It's after 10. I was supposed to go to about 9. I had a little extra time, so I decided to go at 10. We're now approaching 4 hours of broadcasting, so I think we're at the cutoff point. So, but I'd like to thank all the family members, man, for joining in the live stream. Please feel free to hit the like button if you hadn't hit the like button. Metalhead said, "That's cool, Q. I'll call next time, bro. See you." Yeah. I'm sorry about that, Metalhead. I have another show I got to do, bro, a little later on. I got to do a boxing show, a breakdown show on the Charlo brothers. I wish if I had 30 more minutes, bro, I'll sneak you in there. But give me a ring tomorrow, bro. We'll be back. Actually, Tuesday is TSC Q&A tomorrow. I might pop in early for an hour or so. We got the TSC Unleashed in the morning. So, but yeah, just keep an eye out for our next show and give me a call and I'll sneak in. We be having so many callers, man, and that call through, and sometimes people can't get through, and it's tough, man. But like I said, thank you, man. Thank you, Tess. Thank you, baby. Adrian, who that to you? Good to see you in the chat. So I like to, before I go, family, I like to run our ads for our merch, and we got hundreds of products available in our merch shops that's available that help fund the platform. So if you want to help out the platform, you like what you do, feel free to go to the merch in the description section below. Tons of products, dozens of products. We just released our new lines of, several new shirts that came on the line. We have our new cancer awareness shirts, which are Heal That and Beat That. That is also available at the Pro Shop. So for Cancer Awareness Month, we have our new line of cancer awareness tees produced by our Pro Apparel people. So our designers at Pro Apparel. We also have that and several new shirts that are available. And we also have the new shirt coming out, which is called "We Ain't Building No Spaceships." I love that. And you can feel free, and this is just a small sign of our show at the Pro Shop. Designs in all colors, sizes, men, women, and children. Small and large sizes, all kind of stuff. Onesies, sweaters, hoodies, smartphone cover cases. Anything that you can possibly imagine is at the Pro Shops. As you can see, coffee mugs and everything. I mean, pillows, comforters, sheets, towels, wall art. I mean, anything. Like I said, literally hundreds of products are available at the Pro Shop. Check the link in the description section below to check them out. We also have hats like the one I'm wearing. It's also available there in all colors, in several different colors as well. All right, and of course, if you're a fan of the Pre-RO Media Network, The Sports Coma, Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Ring King Boxing, and Tough Tiger Talk are all available on our Pro Radio with over 70,000 downloads. You can check out Pro Radio at Spreaker.com/The Sports Coma, or check the link in the description section below. Our shows are also available on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts, Deezer, and several other major platform podcast providers. So check that out as well. Also, if you like the show, you can feel free to become a patron and sign up at patreon.com/the Pro Media Network and get unlocked content. You can also catch our TSC Q&A show every Tuesday at 6 o'clock. That comes on. You can simply sign up to become a patron. Donations is little as $1 a month or $20 a month, whatever's in your heart to give to help the platform as we continue to move forward. So check it out, patreon.com/the Pro Media Network. Link is in the description. Big ups to our sponsors at GetLifeMask.com. They have a lot of masks, but in particular, the Pelicans, LSU, and Saint Mats are available. What makes these masks different than most is they actually have the PM 2.5 filter, which goes behind the nose clip. And that filter actually filters the air. It's not just a piece of cloth on your face. It actually filters the air. So if you're interested in getting a face covering or a mask, go to GetLifeMask.com. They're our sponsor, and you can get 10% off with the code TheSportsComa upon purchase. So go to GetLifeMask.com and breathe easier. And with the Sports Coma product code, your pockets can breathe easier as well with 10% off. Thank you, Jim Kev, for the super chat, my friend. Appreciate all of our super chat people and our Cash App people for your donations tonight. All that we do, it goes right back into the platform so we can keep producing really good content as well. Big ups to you, Daryl Robinson. Thank you for chiming in as well. Big ups to the rest of the family. No Saint, big ups to your family. Good to see you, Adrian, Kelly, and the rest of the family members. We appreciate you joining us tonight. And once again, we'll be back tomorrow for TSC Unleashed. Not sure, might do a 1-hour show tomorrow, but remember, TSC Q&A live is at 6 o'clock. That usually goes for like 2.5 hours or so. So be on the lookout for that for my Patreon people to know that as well. So I thank y'all for joining us tonight. Keep your heads up, family. It's been a couple of weeks for Saints family members. But, let's just remember, man, from a historical standpoint, that this is nothing new. We struggled in the first couple of weeks. Let's keep our heads up. And we know this is a talented team. And sooner or later, regardless of stubbornness or not, we definitely going to make an impression. And we're going to just keep doing what we're doing. And we know that the Saints eventually going to shape out this stuff here and do what they need to do. Just they got too much talent, too intelligent, and too upbringing, too strong and as moral in the locker room to do anything else but to succeed. So this will be a more galvanizing moment for the team. So we should get online. We're going to see, man. We're going to see, but keep your heads up. We're going to see what happens. So thank y'all for joining me on the show tonight. Subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, and hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button. So much love to y'all. Who that to y'all? And I see you guys.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons. We won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the Sports Coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Payton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the Sports Coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.